Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Here come the hot stepper.
All right, here we go on a Tuesday. It's Cody and Gold, Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, JT Noah in for Drew today, producing the show. He'll be producing the show throughout the week, and then I believe Nathan on Friday. We're back in St. Joe tomorrow. That's when the first full team practice will take place. We'll be at Mo West tomorrow when things really get going for training camp, and we'll have a player join us hopefully every day throughout the rest of training camp. But this week we're there Wednesday and Friday. Then next week we're there Monday through Thursday, and so we'll get in the heart of training camp. And I think they don't have pads on until this weekend. But good for a day. Good to be back in air-conditioned studio. Happy about that. Not going to complain.
Especially after yesterday.
Not going to complain about
that.
It
was particularly toasty. But yeah, not too bad. And yeah, training camp, obviously they just do the conditioning stuff today. Tomorrow will feel like maybe the unofficial beginning, but people will be there. Season ticket members. But fans will actually be in attendance. Patrick Mahomes and the whole crew will be available, and it'll start feeling like, okay, we're getting closer and closer. Because we're now, what? Couple weeks, a little over 2 weeks away from their first preseason game.
Oh, preseason game, absolutely, yeah.
When's the Hall of Fame game? I'm sure Bink's going to text one.
Hall of Fame game's only like a week and a half away.
Really? Got that early? Thursday, August 6th. A week from Thursday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Will you have that on the TV?
It'll be background noise, absolutely. Arizona and Carolina.
Oh, what? For a preseason? I don't even like that as a regular season game to watch.
It's because the Hall of Fame class has Drew Brees and Larry Fitzgerald. Those are two of the big, there's others, but those are the two big headliners.
Well, why would Drew Brees matter for Carolina?
I don't know. I'm just naming the class. That's a good point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're right.
No, that's actually,
it's a fair point,
called you out
JT.
correctly there, I believe.
Luke
it should have been Saints.
Luke Kuechly.
Luke Kuechly was the way, if it was the Saints, Drew Brees would have really made sense.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have wanted that one either. That matchup would have felt roughly the same. Except for, I guess, technically, like if it was, I mean, do we think the Saints or the Panthers are better this year? They both stink. I think the Panthers are going to be worse.
They're about the same there. Yeah.
Can't feel like there's going to be a huge difference based off of that. We got all kinds of stuff to talk about today. The trade deadline is only 6 days away. You and I both find some clips from the new Shohei doc particularly interesting, so there's stuff there. But because it is camp season, obviously, Chiefs. Chiefs are going to dominate. We're going to talk plenty of them today, including the secondary here in just a minute. One thing I liked hearing, but rumblings around camp that concern me a little, but we'll keep an eye out for out of there. But this time of season, I look at every team. The same way we were just talking about the Panthers and the Saints. What's the best it could go? What's the worst it could go? And I'll admit right now, we did this conversation last year, and the worst it could go for the Chiefs, we were wrong on. We were too low, we were simply off, and it was not right. But what do you view the ceiling and the floor at this season for the Chiefs? Look, the ceiling, I will always put a ceiling for the Chiefs at 12 or 13 wins, sometimes more depending on the roster. This year, I would put it at 12 or 13 wins, so I wouldn't put it anywhere outside of that. Floor, that's where I'm having trouble. Even if things go south, not injury. When we talk floor on this show, we don't talk what if Patrick Mahomes gets hurt, or what if Travis or anybody. That's just not how the floor for the team works. 10 wins. I'd be really surprised that even with this roster, I'm uncomfortable putting a Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid team at 9 or lower. Certainly, and I know that they just won 6 games. And I told you I was wrong last year. I think the floor is 10. I think the ceiling is 13. But that ceiling is like, things have to go perfect. Like, that feels like a probably unrealistic. I think the real number is probably 12.
Yeah, so I'm a little different than you on this. We've been talking for months just about how we feel about 2026 versus maybe what 2027 is. So you're not surprised to hear mine's going to be a little bit lower floor than yours and maybe a tad bit lower ceiling. I think the ceiling, everything goes great for you. You catch some breaks along the way. To me, that's 12 wins. Okay. That's where I would put the ceiling. The floor for me is a team that wins 9 games. I think that is not a crazy number at all. I think they're a playoff team, so I believe they're going to win at least 10. We'll do our official record predictions much closer to the season. I want to see how camp plays out and everything like that. But I'm right now in that deciding between I'm picking them to win 10 or 11 game range. That's kind of where my mind's at right now without locking it in. And so this division, though, as I've said, I believe 12 wins gives you a great chance to win it this year because I don't see a 14-game winner in the AFC West. That was what Denver was a year ago.
There were multiple 14-game winners.
If you told me they
year.
got to 12, that is still to me giving you a very high percentage chance to win the division. At a 10-win season, to me, that gives you, a 40% chance or so to win, or 35% chance or so to win the division. Anything above that, obviously, your odds get above 50%, depending on how tiebreakers work. But I'm curious where the text line's at. My guess is, the text line's going to have
to be more optimistic.
Yeah, look, I think I almost went 8 on the floor too, honestly.
Part of it is, I think the floor drops out, we're all way too low part of the season. That one already happened. And for the real concerns, the ones that we would all talk about, defensive line, secondary, wide receivers, offensive line. Let's just lump in all 4 of the things that I think you can make an argument for having concerns. Offensive line, based on the injuries they had last year and just the sudden absence of Simmons, I don't think can go much worse. Defensive line, they were the 5th worst in sacks in the NFL. Again, I feel like they probably got pretty close to the floor on that one. Look, you're not saying 6 wins.
No.
And while wide receivers are not better, they aren't. They're the same going into last year as they were before. They will, without suspension, have Rice available from the beginning of the season, barring an injury.
Right.
And ideally, Xavier Worthy won't get knocked out on the 3rd damn snap of the year. But even if they continue to have problems at wide receiver and those guys don't develop, their running back situation went from, and I want to be very clear in this, the worst in the entire NFL to one of the 10 best in the NFL. So, that to me alone massively moves the offense forward.
Sure.
That should be a
Absolutely.
significantly improved unit. That's why I think the floor is 10. And the ceiling is 13 is really everything goes perfect. It all goes right. Worthy and Rice develop. And, a 3rd pass rusher, 4th pass rusher comes around. As you can probably tell with this, I probably won't be predicting them to win 13 games this year.
No, I mean,
I can see a ceiling in which everything went right and it happened.
Right now, if, again, we're not locking anything until the season. Right this second, if you made me give you a number, I would probably say they're a 10-win team that is a wild card team. That's kind of where my mind is at currently.
But you want to get through camp, make some
I
decisions.
also want to make sure there's no other injuries on the Chargers or the Broncos or anything, or we find out any other updates on Bo Nix and things like that. But that's kind of where I'm at. Someone on the text line, 913-586-7965, said they won 15 games 2 years ago. Ceiling is 15. We have the best player of all time. Look, I'm right there with you with Patrick Mahomes, but that was 2 years ago. The roster's different. The league's different. Mahomes is still coming off an ACL and LCL injury. So I get what you're saying, but I don't think this is – the point is that are they in a different spot now than they were 2 years ago? And I think very clearly they are. Nobody's saying they stink, but I don't think we can use what happened in 2024 or certainly in 2022 or anything like that to try to make your prediction in 2026. So much changes in the NFL, even for the Chiefs, in a 2 or 3 year span.
I would never go more than 2 years back in the NFL. So I would give some credence to the 15-1, but I'd have to also be factoring in the 6 win. And so where does that balance come in? But that's the maximum I would do. Mostly Gold because, and this is probably not for the best, but in 2024, the best players are still the best players in so many ways, other than Trent McDuffie, who is now obviously a member of
but Chris
the Rams.
Jones is older. Travis Kelce is older.
No doubt.
You know what I mean? There are differences.
But in some ways, you would think the offensive line has a lot of similarities. They still have Patrick Mahomes.
The division is better.
And I would hope the division is better. There's no doubt about that. And I would think that, Worthy should be slightly better. But the problem is that in order to believe the offense is going to go from 12th best in the NFL, 11th best like they were before Patrick Mahomes got hurt, to 6th best, you can't just be Ken Walker will solve it. You got to believe that Worthy and Rice, for Rice, what's crazy is Rice doesn't have to be better for the offense to be better. He has to be available.
Yeah, I think
he has played
12.
There. He has played 12 games the last 2 seasons. They went 15-1 in a season in which he played 8 games. They won 15 games that year. Rice wasn't available for half the season. So I don't want to make it seem like they can't, and for the important half of the season, he got knocked out well more than half. He missed 12 games that year.
Yeah, and again, I know we'll break down the schedule even more when we get closer and stuff, but we've talked about the front end of it too. So if you're someone that thinks their ceiling even Not your prediction, but
They're
if you think their ceiling, like that texter, is 14 or 15 wins,
They got to go 9-1 to start.
Then I think you're telling me they're 8-1, 9-0 type of start to the season based off of the back half of the schedule they're going for.
It's just a reminder. Here's how their season could start. Just as since you mentioned it, Broncos. So let's just say they get that one at home and get off to a good start versus the Colts at home. Whatever. At Miami, at Vegas, those are very winnable games. Versus LA, okay, that's another. Yeah. At Seattle, again, tough. At Denver, that's tough. Versus the Jets, versus the Falcons, versus the Cardinals. So, like, by week 11.
There's 5 or 6 in there where you're like, okay.
But they got to be like, if you think they're getting to 15 wins, they got to be like 8-2.
Yeah, and that's why I don't believe 15 wins is happening for anybody in this division. Heck, I don't think 15 wins isn't happening for anybody in the NFL this year. Maybe you could try to convince me on the Rams.
I'm talking to the Rams,
but that division's still too tough. Even for a team that we think is going to maybe win the Super Bowl this year in LA with all the talent on the roster. Maybe they even add Aaron Donald back. They're in a division where they play the Niners twice. They play the defending champion Seahawks twice. Yes, the Cardinals stink, but like that schedule. Oh, and I believe they also play the AFC West. I mean, that is way too challenging of a division, in my opinion. Now, a few other predictions on the text of people saying 8 wins for the floor, 12 wins for the ceiling, gut telling them 10 or 11 in a wild card. Somebody else saying, I think if you win 12 games, you get the division outright. If you win 11, you might have to be on the right side of a tiebreaker. I kind of agree with that.
Yeah, I think 12 probably gets the division, but that might be in a tiebreaker too. Because for all the flaws that Denver has, and because they have flaws too, the Chargers have won 11 games 2 years in a row. So, like, it's kind of hard to imagine that won't be at least somewhat close to their number, or at least inside that range. Over on Twitch, people were pointing out some of the concerns we were talking about. Like the secondary and all this other stuff. And look, I'll admit, I give Steve Spagnuolo a ton of just leeway because right now, his record is impeccable. Hey, the Chiefs' number 1 corner or number 2 corners leaving the team. What will they do? And Spags is batting 1,000 at replacing any corner who has left Kansas City. Now, I understand that this is the biggest challenge they've had. There are 2 things going on with Mansour Delane right now. One, I love. Mansour's admitted to being too aggressive in the early part of camp, and as a result of that, he's getting burnt a little bit. Now, I'll admit, I like a corner being aggressive. Guess why? That has not been the strength of the Chiefs secondary the last couple of years. If anything, I would say they play passive secondary work, which means not a lot of interceptions, not a ton of pass deflections. This is a team that mostly just plays coverage and is good at it. But because this defense, and the one thing that could take them a leap forward because maybe the sacks aren't coming, is how about you just turn the ball over more? So the idea that Mansour Delane, and we talk about this with Mahomes and interceptions, the idea that the first few days of training camp, Mansour Delane would spend his time finding out the level of aggressive he can be in coverage, that doesn't seem like a bad thing to me. The flip side of that is some think he hasn't looked all that good and has looked slow in coverage and is getting beat by guys whose names you won't remember a few months from now. And so, like, that part I could see as being real or being a concern, but I don't know, man. They don't even have a pad on yet.
For a lot of that kind of stuff, I want to see them, put the pads on first before we get concerned about anybody not making expectations. Also, you said it right there. Mansour Delane is still wearing the yellow jersey out there, non-contact jersey, and has that hurt his conditioning and otherwise throughout the offseason? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Let's see how training camp develops and ultimately how he looks in preseason and very early on. We've talked about the expectation. You're the 6th overall pick. You need to be pretty damn good right away. But is this going to bring a slower start? I don't know. We've only been up there for one practice, and yesterday was a rookies only practice with no Mahomes, and it wasn't a walkthrough, but it certainly wasn't a high pace practice yesterday, I would say. So
yeah, and he didn't look fast in that, but again, like you said, it wasn't a high paced practice.
So we'll see. I'm not. By no means should anybody be panicking about Mansour Delane. Way too early for that. I also still think that's going to work out just fine. But yeah, you tell me anybody, Cody, they're hurt throughout much of the summer. I'm sure their conditioning or otherwise is going to be a little off.
The issue with this is we've talked about this before. Like, I can't remember which wide receiver you and I spent a lot of time talking on the show. You'd be like, well, they got to a slow start because they didn't get to have a normal training camp. Or no, it was maybe Felix, whatever it was.
It was Willie Gay 5 years ago, but that was the COVID year.
So, like, there's a couple of times where, like, it can have an impact. The problem is they needed Mansour and still need Mansour Delane to be up and running week 1.
And I think he's going to be.
Yeah. He needs to be there week 1 starting corner. So, like, the shoulder injury having a slow start to camp, fine. I don't want him using the shoulder injury as a slow start to the season part later on in the year. And so, or at least like weeks 1 through 4.
Let's see how much longer he's wearing that non-contact jersey. Does that get removed in the next week, or is he still wearing that 2 weeks from now? I'd like to think that thing is only on for another couple days, but I don't know what the timeline is on that. Remember, he's out there practicing. He's just in no non-contact. The only player's not practicing. The only player really is Omar Norman Lott. He of course is on the PUP list. Although Andy had mentioned that they expect him at some point during camp
to come off
the PUP list. He's dealing with the post-ACL injury, rehab, and everything. The other thing, you were mentioning the aggressiveness for Mansour Delane. Remember, it would be somewhat of a shock if all of a sudden he was a ball-hawking corner to begin with, though, Cody. That was not what he was in college, and that's why the comparisons to Trent McDuffie on the interception stuff. For those that were upset that Trent McDuffie wasn't getting a bunch of interceptions, and that's why you didn't think he was any good, which is, to me, an inaccurate way of framing his time in Kansas City.
Especially in the modern day NFL.
Shutdown corner, guys didn't want to throw his direction. Mansour Delane is more likely a shutdown corner than he is a guy that's getting up with 6 interceptions in his first 2 years.
I guess I've talked about this before. Derek Stingley had a lot 1 year, but plenty of other guys don't. Sauce, Trent, some of the largely considered best corners in the NFL don't put up a ton of interception numbers. But I do think that they could be a little more risk. Like, they don't like giving up the big play, but I actually think this is a team that could take a few more chances on defense and afford it if the defensive line is not going to make a notable improvement this season. In the sense that sometimes less consistent defenses from a pass rush perspective become good defenses because they are willing to take chances at turnovers. They are good at forcing fumbles. They are good at getting interceptions. And I kind of wouldn't hate the idea of them doing it. I felt like they punished, it's weird. Like last year in the secondary, they punished Jaden Hicks for that reason. Like, he was the kind of player who was taking some chances, and they didn't like it because they don't like, they like preventing the big play, which most defenses do. And there's nothing wrong with that. But every once in a while, taking a chance to get a pick doesn't feel like the worst thing. I'm not saying this to be Marcus Peters, who seemed like he was better than most corners at baiting guys into it. Or even, who was it a couple years ago for the Cowboys, who gave up some of the most receiving yardage in the NFL, but also led the NFL in picks. I don't, like, I'm looking for a middle ground, I guess, Gold is what I would say. But you and I'm not going to worry about Mansour Delane until August 20th?
I'm not worried about him until I see him play week 1 and he looks terrible or something, Cody. I'm not concerned.
I could be talked into keeping an eye out on it late in August, I guess, but not on July 28th. I mean, we are a full 7 weeks still until they play. I think it was 7 weeks yesterday.
Yeah, 46 days or something.
Until they play a football game. I'm not going to worry about it yet, I guess, is what I would say, depending on where it is. There was a little bit of injury news, by the way. Matt Derrick reporting the Chiefs defensive end Ethan Downs has a torn ACL in his left knee. He was saying that he was a strong candidate to make the roster, especially because they need some depth at defensive end. It's a thin
position.
Year, so.
It is, we've talked a lot about Felix and making the team and all that kind of stuff. Well, this would make it even more likely that he still makes the team based off of another guy that is at that same position that now is going to be unavailable, unfortunately. Now, I'm not saying the Chiefs were deciding between Ethan Downs and Felix and DK Uzama. The point is the position is a lot thinner. It was already a thin position, and now it just got even thinner. So they'll likely bring in some other body that we've never heard of because Downs is now down and out, unfortunately, for the rest of the season.
Yeah. It stinks. But, I mean, they've got players available. He, again, had a chance to maybe make it, but it's also so early. Who's to say which version of it they'll get here going forward. But at least, it's not the main guy yet, so I will take place of that. Just something of note out of camp. It's the first real injury, it feels like, other than the guys we would anticipate coming back at one point in camp. So that'd be the case. So a reminder, we'll be there Wednesday and Friday this week for training camp, Monday through Thursday next week for training camp, Monday through Thursday the following week for training camp. We'll have exclusive player interviews. We'll have a lot for you outside of camp. Yesterday, kind of a slow start to camp for us, but really kind of all the way back starting tomorrow.
Yeah, by the way, in the NFL, today's officially the only day where all 32 teams are actually at training camp. So some teams reported earlier last week, some reported Saturday, like the Friday and Saturday, like the Chiefs. As of today, every single team in the NFL has reported a training camp. And with that, Cody, man, it is now officially football season, man. We got everything full steam ahead. Someone messaged me yesterday wanting to know if we're doing a guillotine league still. To be determined.
It'll have to be off books.
It'll have to be check our social media accounts, personal accounts, if we do that. But I'm not against it. We always have fun doing it.
Yeah, I don't mind. Typically, it's if there are people interested, I'm usually interested in doing one.
Well, we really need to figure out, though. I was talking to Dusty about it. You were here as well. We were talking to him before the show. We're going to Vegas about actually a month from tomorrow. I think a month from tomorrow we'll be in Vegas or whatever, or at least after the show. And the Circa Million Circa Survivor contest, right? The big contest in Vegas.
We did.
Survivor, obviously you pick a team a week, although in the Circa contest, Thanksgiving counts as a separate week, so does Christmas, so it's very tough. Circa Millions, you pick spread each week, 5 games or whatever. That's what we did last year. The debate is, should we do Survivor instead? I'm for doing Circa Survivor instead of Circa Millions. That's my vote. We'll see what everybody else thinks.
We did Circa Millions last year, and it's a lot of picks and a lot of votes.
But it's tough to do Survivor with 5 or 6 people because
how do you get a consensus?
But to me, Survivor is way more fun to do.
Oh, and I only have to pay attention to the one thing.
But you're right. Week 1, let's say you want to pick the Titans against the Jets, and I want to pick I don't know who the Saints are playing. The Saints versus Carolina. I don't know. Just throwing. I have no idea who they're playing. And then how do we decide that?
And we have to agree on strategy of these are the teams we're not going to use because of Thanksgiving week and because of Christmas
week. Have to save teams.
We have to make that determination very early on that would be
because the Thanksgiving teams if you don't save one of those teams, you're automatically even if you're right all the other weeks, you're automatically eliminated if you don't have a team left on Thanksgiving. Or if there's a bad team on Thanksgiving, Cody, and they're the only team left, you're forced to pick them. So this year the Thanksgiving schedule is Thanksgiving Eve, which will count, I believe.
Yeah,
Green Bay and LA, Rams. Bears, Lions, Eagles, Cowboys, Chiefs, Bills, Black Fridays, Broncos, Steelers. So there's a lot of teams to pick, but you got to decide.
Right now, it feels like the Broncos who are
the 1 or 2 teams, you feel like you want to stash to save for that day. Saving the Chiefs or Buffalo, that's a coin flip game most likely.
And then what if Allen's not available or Patrick Mahomes or, you have to take the chances, but you also have to kind of give yourself some
A lot of people will be trying to save the Rams probably for that.
Although, over on Twitch, Cash Gaming says, come on, the Grandissimo is what you guys really want to get in on.
The Grandissimo is a $100,000 entry. I think we're out on that one. The other ones are $1,000 entry. We can make that work.
If you win the lottery tonight, do you think you'd be a Grandissimo participant in Survivor?
You mean the $800 million Mega Millions, I think it is?
Would you be a yearly participant in the Grandissimo?
I'd at least do it for a year or so.
Whew.
Not every year.
Sounds like there'd be people interested in that. But last year there was half the Twitch group was trying to get together for a
if we didn't
Survivor.
I'll be honest. If we didn't have to worry about Johnny Palumbo, in a perfect world, I would love for us all just to contribute to the $100,000 and get 50 listeners involved and do a whole thing. We can't do that though.
We need a lot more than 50. We need 500 listeners.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Well, depending on there's a minimum.
True, I guess,
there's a minimum entry fee.
Yeah, I don't know how many we'd need, but it'd feel like a lot.
It depends on what we would want the entry. And point being, it's not happening.
Because we need like 120,000, wouldn't we? What do you got? Do you have to pay the proxy the same for that? Is you have to pay?
I don't think the proxy doesn't charge. You don't pay $2,000 for the proxy or
$20,000
for the proxy.
You
It might
pay like
be
$5,000?
it might be $2,000 for the proxy. I don't know.
I mean, I feel like you charge a little bit of a premium
I'm sure.
for that one. Let's see. If we had 200 listeners at $105,000, it'd be $525 a piece. I don't think they're going to let us,
No, but I'm just saying. Maybe I'm terrible at math, which I am, but we just need 100 people to donate $1,000.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. Well, but it's like we got 100 people who got 1,000.
If legal wasn't a problem, yes, we can make it happen. Anyway, doesn't matter. Not happening. This is why you're over here trying to buy a $40,000 communications.
If you think I don't check it every single day, I do. They have not dropped it from 30,000. I'm waiting.
You still want to buy a freaking trailer?
Haven't given up. Haven't given up on that dream yet. Messy Taps is still a dream of mine, and it is still at last checked. I believe yesterday, it was listed, and they have not dropped it from 30,000. I'll wait another week. It'll come down. But they wouldn't let me. They wouldn't let me do the GoFundMe.
Someone says, "Can we talk about the price of Mega Millions? $5, not $2." Yeah, they raised the price of the tickets probably 6 months or a year.
$5?
Yeah, 6 months or a year ago. To have the jackpots grow quicker. Yeah, Mega Millions is $5 a ticket. Cody, Powerball's still $2. But yeah, it's $5 a ticket. That's why the lottery, the The jackpot's this high. So officially it's at $800 million tonight. Cash option, $344 million. That'll work.
That's before taxes?
That is before taxes.
Tough.
I know, it's not enough. Not enough, is it? Yeah.
$250 million. I can't even buy like a stake in the Royals for that. Guess I'll just have to pass until it's over $1 billion or whatever.
Someone says, if I win big money on Mega Millions, can I bribe my way into buying into the show?
Yes.
Absolutely.
I mean, the number's high, but yes, you can. You want to come on the show every day and you got to...
I'll tell you this, again, assuming we didn't actually have legal to deal with, if you won Mega Millions and you wanted to basically just take our names off the show and just give me cash, absolutely, done tomorrow. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
In a world where we didn't have any legal consequences at all, absolutely. What the price is very low, by the way. You just write a check to Cody and I, and the show is no longer called Cody and Gold. It can be called whoever texts it in. Yeah, Lance. It can be called Lance in the middays, but we're still hosting. But it's just called.
And you're just here all the time.
You're just chilling.
Sure.
Yep. There's a number in a hypothetical world where we don't have to answer to Johnny Palumbo.
Or spec, I guess.
Or spec.
But I don't think he'd blame us.
If
there's a 7-figure payout and spec stands in my way, unbelievable. Unbelievable. I mean, in this case, you can also pay him off, too.
You got to.
He's the program
Anyway,
director.
all right. Up next, guys, let's get to the conversation around the Royals with two players in particular as we approach the trade deadline. And we thought this was going to happen for one former Jayhawk who wants to still be a current Jayhawk. Now it's official. We'll get to that next.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Bobby Witt Jr., and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Look, maybe you don't want to count on winning the lottery in order to solve your financial problems. Maybe you want to get in a career. And because July is a time to talk about freedom, not just celebration, freedom from feeling stuck from those monetary things, which means Centric can help you find that meaningful career and a career path going forward.
In as little as 4 months, you guys know that. In fact, at Centric, veterans and transitioning service members have the freedom to prepare for civilian IT careers. So they're going to offer that hands-on training, career support, strong employer relationships throughout the Kansas City metro. And for those who qualify, don't forget the GI Bill benefits may help cover the cost of all your training.
Talk to our guy, Russ. Go to Centric.com to find out more. That's Centric.com.
Doug.
Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons. And lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen. And oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live. And you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Kansas City is buzzing this summer, and the excitement keeps rolling into August at the Advent Health Championship, Kansas City's only professional golf tournament, August 20th through 23rd at Blue Hills Country Club. Watch the next generation of PGA Tour stars compete for their shot at the big stage. Follow your favorite player, enjoy the action from greenside, or upgrade to an all-inclusive hospitality experience. With tickets starting at just $10, there's something for everyone. Keep your summer going. Get your tickets today at AdventHealthChampionship.com.
Hi, I'm Carter.
And I'm Charlie. We'd like to share a quick story about a homeowner named Jack.
Jack had a home he needed to sell fast.
And Jack thought he had it all figured out.
So Jack talked to multiple cash buyers.
Jack chose the highest offer.
But the day before closing, guess what? The buyer backed out.
Leaving Jack with the moving truck all packed in the driveway and not sure what to do.
Jack learned the hard way that the highest offer isn't always the right offer.
Jack got suckered.
Make sure you aren't hung out to dry.
Call our dad at Rex Buys KC.
Our dad is local, he knows Kansas City, and he actually closes deals.
No repairs, no fees, no showings, no surprises.
Just a fair cash offer and a smooth process.
Now, don't be like Jack.
Call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com.
Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time.
Conservative, family man, author of The Bald Plan to Reduce Property Taxes. Listen to Scott Schwab.
Property taxes are killing Kansans, but one day it hit me. Bald.
BALD stands for Better Affordable Living by Decreasing Property Taxes. And it's the only detailed plan. Schwab's BALD plan means voter approval for property tax hikes, refunds for unfair assessments, and tax relief for seniors and working families. Listen to Scott Schwab.
I focus on reducing taxes for Kansas. You should keep more. My BALD plan makes sure of it. When I'm governor, we'll get it done.
Finally, a governor with a good head on his shoulders. Author of the BALD plan to decrease property taxes, conservative Republican Scott Schwab for governor. Visit scottschwab.com/bald to learn more. Paid for by Schwab for Governor, Jim Felter, Treasurer.
Hey, it's Brew. Between my radio show, filming content, editing videos, and trying to stay connected with family, reliable Wi-Fi isn't really optional anymore. I just need it to work. And that's why I like that with Xfinity, you get the most reliable, fiber-powered Wi-Fi with the best equipment at one price for 5 years, guaranteed. No contracts or commitments. Plus, Xfinity makes getting connected simple with same-day Wi-Fi so you can get online in minutes. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Use of fiber or coaxial cable. Learn more at xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi. Xfinity. Imagine that.
I scream. You scream. We all scream. Because Wendy's famous small classic Frosty is just $1 for a limited time. More screaming, happy screaming, summer screaming, dollar small classic Frosty screaming! But please don't scream in the drive-thru. It hurts the employees' ears. Get a $1 small classic Frosty for a limited time, only at Wendy's.
U.S. price and participation may vary. A la carte only, not valid for delivery. Limit 10 per transaction. Price may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/team. That's ZipRecruiter.com/team.
ZipRecruiter. My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
For 75 years, Kansas City families have trusted Anthony for comfort, safety, and dependable service. Thank you for trusting us with your house keys. Anthony, in your home for 75 years.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Back here on Cody and Gold, just getting started on a Tuesday. Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, JT Noah producing the show today. Just saw during the break that former Chiefs offensive coordinator, former Eagles head coach, former Jags head coach, I guess, Doug Peterson is now part of CBS Sports College Football, one of their studio shows, as an analyst. Him and Brian Kelly. I knew about Brian Kelly. We've talked about that, but I did not know Doug Peterson was just going to do the TV stuff now.
Does Brian Kelly bring on a new accent as a part of being an analyst?
Yeah, I mean, I think
family.
I think he's going to try to just blend in a little bit. You know, that's all he was trying to do in Baton Rouge, Cody. That's all he was trying to do.
Dougie P.
I'm here with my family.
That's all-time clip for me. There's something about him attempting to just do some random Southern twang out of nowhere as a guy who grew up in the Northeast. Just so funny. Very, very, very funny. Oh, Brian Kelly. Well, congrats to Doug Peterson. I don't know. I interact with him a lot. I covered the team a lot during the Doug Peterson era of things. I mean, I don't know. It seemed like during that was when the office was humming, but I just felt like when they had their best weapons, not Doug Peterson was doing a better job.
Let's briefly talk about the Royals as the trade deadline is, a week from yesterday, I guess it'd be. August 3rd will be the trade deadline. And other notes around the Royals, they announced that, Michael Garcia is going to begin a rehab assignment today.
Isbell's already in the middle of one.
With Double-A Arkansas. Isbell, has played a couple games already in Omaha, if I'm not mistaken. So both those guys could be back very, very soon. But around the deadline, I thought there was just some names, like obvious names that we all kind of agreed that, like, hey, look, if you can get something for them, they're out. And now there seems to be a little bit more pushback. I don't know if it's just a social media thing or if this is truly what a majority of the fan base is thinking. I thought we knew that, all right, the controversial ones are whether or not you trade Michael Wacha, or the controversial one is whether or not you would trade a bigger name than that even, of course. But I thought we all knew that, look, Lane Thomas, despite how well he's playing, his contract expires in 3 months. You're going to trade him. But there seems to be some people suggesting keeping a player like Lane Thomas, and I don't get it.
I've now seen in the fan base a suggestion for why you should keep Michael Massey, why you should keep Nick Lofton, why you should keep Lane Thomas, etc. And all I can think is, what? I thought that there were certain players we all agreed could go. Like Nick Lofton's value, and we like Michael Massey's been a really good friend of the show. Michael Massey's value, Lane Thomas's value, this is it. Lane Thomas is a free agent. If you want him back as a Royal next year, sign him again. He'll be a free agent and would have had success here. Ideally would have liked the coaching staff. You convinced him to come here once. Not saying it's out of the question to convince him to come here again. I'm not saying trade all of them. Like that's the difference. Nobody trades everybody who could be a tradable player. The Royals are not going to trade Daniel Lynch and Nick Lofton and Lane Thomas and Michael Massey and Steven Cruz. And they're not trading everybody. That's not how it works. Nobody gets that many deals done. Nobody completely flushes their entire roster out the door in a trade market. And the MLB trade deadline's already been favorable for relievers, so you would think that would be high on the list. But this idea of like, there are players that are safe because they're stashing away. No. Whatever the highest offer is, maybe you don't want to trade Lofton and Massey. Whichever the best offer is, that guy's gone.
Yes.
Maybe you don't want to trade Isbell and Lane Thomas. Whatever the best offer is for either of them, that player's gone. And look, maybe you don't want to trade Lofton if you were willing to, like you said, make the huge swing and you're willing to like let somebody come take Michael Garcia
there's certain
away from you.
There's certain players where I don't think their value is ever going to be any higher for you, even if you have them under contract. Nick Lofton, Lane Thomas, you just don't even have him under contract, so that's why. Daniel Lynch, not going to probably ever have any value higher than what he is right now. These are names that I think will and should be traded. Michael Wacha, the reason why I say he's trickier because there's a majority of people I think on social media that think he should automatically be gone. I think you can make a strong case that you should trade Michael Wacha because you're going to get more back for him than anybody else. However, I also understand some of the pushback, which is, hey, if you're trying to compete next year, which if this regime is staying intact, they are, and you got Bobby Wood Jr., then that rotation without Michael Wacha, what the hell is in your rotation? So that's why I say that one I can understand the debate. We obviously can disagree on whether or not they should or not, but that one is not as cut and dry as trading Lane Thomas.
Can I also say that like the thing you had mentioned about the IL also has a massive impact on this? When Kyle Isbell and Michael Garcia come back, even if some of these guys are playing because they're playing well, right? Like the Royals, some of the guys we're talking about are playing well. Michael Massey's having a nice season. He's a Gold Glove caliber second baseman. Lane Thomas is having a really good bounce back year. He's hitting not great, but like 230, 327 on base, 727 OPS. Most teams will sign up for that. And so he's having a nice bounce back season. Those guys, where is all this playing time? Like even if Lofton and Massey and Lane Thomas are playing well, Isbell and Michael Garcia, when they return, will play.
Right.
And so there's still a limitation a little bit.
It will be a massive failure, though, if we're sitting here after next Monday afternoon. What is it? 3 o'clock deadline, 4 o'clock deadline.
Make no moves.
No, of course they're not going to not make a single move. But if Lane Thomas and Nick Lofton and Daniel Lynch and Michael Wacha, not saying but if all those guys are still on the roster, it's a massive failure. I think there's a chance 1 or 2 of them is still on the roster. But if all those names are still on the roster on Tuesday when they begin their series against the Twins next week or whatever it is, that's a mistake.
Agreed. And I think that's a part of the problem with this conversation that does need to be pointed out, which is if you are disappointed in this year, how could you possibly tell me? Like if you're the Royals, if you're the Royals front office, how could you possibly tell me in a season that you haven't just been bad? You're 15, 20 games under 500 a huge majority of the year, that you'll just bring everybody back and next year will be better.
Yeah, it can't happen.
You can't talk me into that. Like, you can't just be like, well, Salvi will just be better. Jack will be even better. Vinny will be healthy. Lane Thomas will be the same, and that would be, giving him an extension or something crazy.
I mean, that was the thing. I mean, how many times in the offseason did we discuss, yeah, there's some of the injuries were more predictable than others with Bubic or Reagan. Some of the other ones were not. But how many times in February we have conversations saying the scary thing about this year, now I didn't think they would ever be this bad, neither did you, but they were banking on the players last year that did not have good years bouncing back and everybody that was great last year being great again. And they did that. That was part of the plan heading into this year. So it sure as heck cannot be part of the plan again. Like, the players that were underperforming this year will just bounce back. That's what they thought about some of the individuals a year ago.
So the only trouble I would have, and like the text line saying Vern also put out not to trade Massey. Massey, admittedly, is a more difficult case, right? Like, it's easy with guys like Lane Thomas, or it should be, or Daniel Lynch, or these expiring contracts. Mm-hmm. Those shouldn't be, in my opinion, very hard decisions, just as long as you're being offered a full trade. Because you've done the show with me the entire time Michael Massey's been a big leaguer. I have always thought Michael Massey had the goods. I always thought he was going to be a good baseball player. I didn't understand why he wasn't a 20 home run hitter who competed for a Gold Glove most years. I always thought Michael Massey mostly had it, but he has been widely unavailable. His problem has not been talent. His issue has been availability, and because of that availability, his ancillary numbers, his on-base percentage, his batting average, have always been below.
Can he stay healthy?
He's having a career year. He's hit 274 with a 312 on base and 752 slug. He's almost a 2-WAR player with great defense. Hard not to. Michael Massey's having a great season.
But again, is his value going to be any higher? Because there's always the risk with him, unfortunately, that the back flares up and he's not available for anywhere near 120 games for you.
If it's behind him and you're the Royals and you're convinced he can stay healthy, he'd be harder for me. He really would be. But it's not. But it's just like, if the offers are fair and serious, and some of these guys, that's really tough. And so, like, you're writing yourself into the same situation, which is, are you going to get this year again from Michael Massey? No, look, he's cheap and controllable and having a good season. But even him having a good season is not solving their problems, That's the other part of the problem. And you didn't buy out his arbitration. So based on the season he's having, numbers going up next couple of years. And good for Michael Massey, by the way. I'm glad he'll be making way more money the next couple of years. Good for him, honestly.
If we have baseball next year.
Very happy, very happy for Michael Massey in that regards. But it's also just like, I don't know how you don't pick up a phone for almost anybody on the roster. Like you and I have said before, our untradeable list is not way different, but it's small. It is Bobby.
Yeah, there's like 2 or 3 players. It's Bobby, Cags, and Carter.
Carter.
That's it for me.
And like
Bobby, Cags, Carter are the only untradables on the roster. Nobody else is untradeable.
For me, it's like Garcia and Vinny. The offers have to be like,
well, sure,
real.
Well, yeah, you're not giving them away for a
like
bag of balls. No, of course not.
Why couldn't we just be talking about them adding a player? Wouldn't that be way more fun? Gold, have you looked at the standings? Are they like,
No, I haven't looked at the standing. Are you kidding me?
I was just joking.
Why would I have looked at the standings?
People pointed that out to us for a long time in the season, and you and I were like, hey, they got to be a lot closer to 500 before you can even kick that around.
You're going to make me actually search it real quick?
I assume they have like the 3rd worst record in the American League now, not the worst. Because they've won 7 of 10 games.
Yeah, the Angels are 42-65. The A's are 44-62. The Royals are 45-62. Congratulations. And then in the National League, the Mets are 45-62. The Giants are 45-61, and the Rockies are 42-65.
Again, the best thing you did out of beating the Tigers is convincing them to trade Tarek Skubal. I did see the same headline you did, which is, as of right now, Jeff Passan thinks, and this will probably stun everybody, Jeff Passan thinks the Dodgers will end up getting Skubal. And this is the whole point. Like, I've seen these headlines. Ken Rosenthal had an article out today, and we can talk more about the broader scope of baseball. And he's like, hey, 2 of the best teams in baseball this year, the Brewers and the Rays, and this year's defying they have a competitive balance issue. 9 of the last 10 World Series winners are from top 10 payrolls. So we don't have to be delusional here. There's clearly a competitive balance between the teams who have a lot of money and the teams that don't. And you're trying to tell me the Dodgers going to pick up Skubal? They're not going to just win the World Series again? Come on.
We're explaining though. You said you think it's a good thing the Royals beat the Tigers, so the Tigers will trade Skubal. That's not a good thing. What do you?
I want the Tigers getting Skubal out of the division. I want him to be a Dodger.
His contract's expired at the end of this year anyway. So now they're going to get rid of him and get prospects back.
Oh,
that's worse. That's worse, man.
But I just want him out of the division.
But he was probably out of the division anyway.
I don't want any risk. I would rather them think.
I would rather
sign with the Tigers.
I would rather them think they're still in it than he just walks in the offseason. They don't get anything for him.
So
now
you're saying we should hope the
get
Tigers get hot?
Yes. Now
they were always trading him anyway.
I agree, but
Cheap
now
ass organization.
Skubal, they're going to trade him and they're going to get a bunch of top prospects back. That's way worse.
Unless they get it wrong. Do you saw, what was it? Maybe it was like a week ago. Someone ran a long-term study. What would you guess the percentage is? Somebody ran a long-term study, the percentage of you getting something back that was in their metric deemed the trade worked, as in you got a prospect back that worked. What do you think the percentage is when you make any trade in Major League Baseball, big or small, that the trade works out for the team acquiring prospects? Like the prospect turns into a major leaguer that you care about. What, you guys want to guess before I give you the number? They ran a study on it over the last 15 years in baseball and gave the number. 14%. That's it. So, like, for all the stuff we talk about trading with the Royals, that is the one thing I'll say before you're like, trade the whole roster, get a bunch of prospects, problem solved. 14%. I think there's a 14% chance Michael Massey just stays healthy and is a good big leaguer for the next 2 seasons. So just to point out the, like, hey, before you start shipping everyone's ass out of town, it ain't that high of a percentage that you're getting back something that actually works. And the teams that are really good at it, they say 20-25%. And I would say the Royals have been better at it than most. So let's give them a 1 in 5 shot of getting something of value back. That doesn't make me want to rush out and ship off guys. But also, so many trades in baseball are for, I'll take your 22-year-old in A-ball for my reliever. So, like, there's a percentage of trades that I think are just flushed down the drain anyway. They're organizational builders. They're not, I'm trying to get capable major league players. Or the odds of me getting a capable major league player are low. I just think back to all those other ones, though, where...
No, but as you know, I mean, let's say Lane Thomas, his contract expires. I trade him. I get some random mid-level prospect, if that. Okay. I would rather roll the dice on that and see what the next 3 years are of that player versus, and I know Lane Thomas is gone in 2 months.
Yeah. Rental players, again, those aren't hard decisions. Rental players are rental players. They bought Lane Thomas with the hope of, in a season in which we compete, he is a valuable member and we get him on the bounce back year. That part worked. You didn't compete. So now, but you know that part of the risk reward of signing a player like that is if he works and you can't keep him, he has value and you can trade him. So, like, I'll be offended if in a week he's on the team. Like, and this is not even a knock on Lane Thomas. There is no universe with Kyle Isbell coming back from the injured list and everything.
Wait, you don't think he wants to be traded to a playoff team? I know he'll never say it publicly. I bet you he does. Are you kidding me?
Why not say it publicly? I mean, would you blame him? If Lane Thomas came out today and said,
"No, that's
I'd
my
like
point.
to be traded to a contender," I'd be like, "Yeah, I get it, Lane."
That's my point. You were saying, like, no offense to him. I go, I don't think he's going to take offense. I think he knows how the business works. Of course he should, and I would bet would likely love to be traded to a contender.
I mean, the Rays are a perfect team for Lane Thomas. I mean, they don't have a center fielder right now that is hitting. Cedric Mullins ain't doing jack, and then it works out. Maybe you can get some good prospects from the Rays because the Rays usually have a good farm system. So I feel
and he
like
can play a corner and center.
Right.
Right-handed hitting bats are one of the things that is in low supply this trade deadline. Like,
But my question to you guys, do you think there is a trade out there with either Lane Thomas or someone else that you could get the value back like you did when you traded Aroldis Chapman for Cole Reagans or that stuff?
Not for Lane Thomas. I don't think so personally, but
maybe for Lynch. I mean, but that's not Aroldis Chapman. That's different. No, I think it would take...
That would have been if Carlos Estevez would have actually prepared and wanted to play baseball in 2026 and gotten his ass ready for the season. And then he would have been a guy you'd be looking to trade like that.
Well, we were both right in remember the 3 bets we had to give Vern, and both of ours were Carlos Estevez under in the saves?
Yeah.
I think that bet's...
Will he even qualify?
Went under by like 36.
By
What's that?
Wait, does it qualify because of him being injured?
Yeah. It's not the under. Yeah, under's the under. You're good on that one. Let's talk a little college basketball, though. Not the fight between your former Jayhawks in Wichita State last night. They got bloody, by the way. Looked like sometimes actual assault happens at sporting events, and we never charge anybody with it like it's an actual crime. But if I attacked Alex the way that happened in that game last night, There's definitely assault charges.
I haven't been
Crazy.
watching any of this tournament thing. It's basically KU alums, and in this case against Wichita State alums. KU had beat K-State alums the week before, and now Wichita State, and now they're playing Kentucky's alums Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken.
And Frank Mason's giving every Jayhawk fan the nostalgia tour.
Yeah, and it's cool if you want something to do and watch. I haven't been locked into it, but I'm at least aware of them advancing again.
But let's talk about this year's team. Melvin Council's officially sued the NCAA for eligibility. And based on any of the history of the last couple of years, is it weird for me just to assume he'll win it? No. The players have been winning a large majority of these lawsuits against the NCAA, who seemingly, unless this Save College Sports Act gets passed, still doesn't have much footing to fight these things.
Yeah, no, it's not weird to assume. I would be shocked if he doesn't win. It's kind of the same as the Diego Pavia thing. He played 2 years at JUCO. He's trying to basically claim that those years shouldn't count, essentially. I'm assuming he's going to end up winning this. Now, it's a long process. They have till October or November to get it all ironed out.
How do you save the spot for him, I guess, in that regard? Because does he want scholarship? Will he just take NIL? How are you going to work your roster in a way, I guess, that essentially you have to work in the next couple of months to save a seat for Melvin Council Jr.? Now, look, I'll be honest. I would assume he wouldn't even go through this process if Kansas didn't offer him his spot back. If Bill Self wasn't telling him, yeah, fight, love to have you back, Melvin.
Yeah,
right?
I haven't looked at the scholarship limits for the team this year or anything. We'll see where they're at, but I'm not worried about them finding a spot on a roll for Melvin Council on the team this year.
Do you think it's better if he's a starter, or it says more about the team if he's a six-man,
I think six-man would be perfect, but it depends on how some of these other guys progress and who Bill actually trusts early on in the season.
I mean, you would assume he'd trust him.
Any KU fan not wanting Melvin Council back Jr., Melvin Council Jr. back makes no sense to me.
I think sometimes they're putting that on the rest of the team. And they're, for a team as young as they are, don't you want one experienced player? Genuinely. Their whole, Stokes is probably their best player, obviously, and he's a freshman. And most of the seniors are dudes who didn't play last year. And so, Mbaya might be their second most tenured player returning. I don't know.
Yeah, the thing with Council was that, in this era of college sports, most players don't truly care about the university the way they used to.
Yeah.
Melvin Council was there for 1 year.
He seemed to like him.
And immediately seemed to ingrain himself in kind of the KU culture. The fan base loved him. The student section had a cool relationship as well with how they interacted during games. That's something you just don't see in the day and age of college sports that we're in, where everybody just leaves after 1 year. Look, he's been that player too. He started at St. Bonaventure after being at JUCO, went to KU. Eligibility technically is out. He's fighting to say it's not out.
Probably just got to a major program and was like, this is the life. Maybe for him, it's Bonaventure, and I'm sure they got a nice program, but Bonaventure and JUCO, that doesn't compare to the life you get to live as a Kansas basketball player, sleeping in their big fancy dorm that's only for the players, making a couple mil in NIL money. I imagine that would make me somewhat loyal too, I'll be honest. And there's nothing wrong with what's making him loyal, but you're right.
No, but I'm saying other players transfer all the time and they don't care about the school they're playing in.
Constantly. And I agree with you that Melvin Council Jr. does seemingly care about being he seems to care about being a Jayhawk, which is good and important for them. I actually also think that it makes them in my mind, if they bring him back, that could be the difference between serious national title contender and good basketball team. Not because he's a superstar, but because that, to me, seems to be the one missing element of this upcoming roster is the veteran player who is comfortable and knows the system and knows what they're doing versus let's just run back another super young basketball team who hasn't been here at the program that long and hoping.
It doesn't hurt. I would still say we got plenty of time till the season. The big question with Kansas is going to be their big men, and that's a big question mark heading into the season for them.
Yeah, it's Mbaya, right? They got him back.
It's still that is right now looking like the weakness of the team. So we'll see.
But I don't know. That used to be Bill's self-strength, was taking a guy from year 1 to year 2 or year 2 to year 3 and be a good going from center you didn't care about to center that mattered. Wasn't that his calling card for a long time?
Yeah, when Danny Manning was on staff as well still.
Yeah. That's fair. But it was that was for a while, I would say, for a huge chunk of my time in sports radio, for the first 10 years I was in sports radio, the Bills' self-calling card was, I'll take big man. Cole Aldridge wasn't a star immediately. He got good at least not as I remember. I felt like he was just just a dude year 1 and then was good after that. but I'd have to look it back up. Maybe I'm not.
I mean, he was the 13th player in the country back then, or whatever, third best center in his class, or whatever. But to your point, he obviously got better and better. I don't remember his freshman year stats, but
I mean, yeah, they just want to pull up his NBA stats. He's still in the league?
No,
he stuck around the NBA for 20
dude,
years.
he was in college in 2007. I think he's been out for a bit.
He only played 8.3 minutes per game his freshman year, scored 2.8 points. Year 2, 14.9, immediate double-double guy.
He hasn't played in 10 years almost, Cody.
Okay. He went from 2.8, 3 rebounds. He went to 3 points, 2 rebounds a game, to 15 points, 12 rebounds a game. So, like, I don't think that's, like, not insignificant. That's a pretty big jump from year 1 to year 2. That's all I'm saying. You're right, he was a highly thought prospect. But I'm assuming, because they played at Kansas, Paul Mbaya was, too. I don't know.
Coming up next, let's get to the 11 o'clock hour. We'll talk about some of the tension last night at the Royals community meeting around their stadium and the rezoning that's going to be needed. Plus, today, the full documentary is going to come out for ESPN's look at Shohei Ohtani. And remember the whole gambling story, him and his interpreter? We got our first clip of it, and it is it's very interesting how people are talking about Shohei compared to others that would have been implicated in something like this.
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
$30 million in guaranteed prizes you can cash in this football season out in Las Vegas with 3 Circa Sports contests. Entries starting at $1,000, all with zero rake. Circa Million, 18 weeks of point spread action, 128 ways to win. Or Circa Survivor, you pick one winner each week, the last one standing wins. And Circa Grandissimo with a $100,000 entry. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere, $30 million guaranteed. Visit circasports.com for details.
The Advent Health Championship is Casey's only PGA Tour event. Whether you're a golfer or you just want to be part of the fun, family-friendly event, see the future stars of the PGA Tour at Blue Hills Country Club, August 20th through 23rd. Ticket information at adventhealthchampionship.com.
DQ presents Being a Miracle Maker. July 30th is Miracle Tree Day. You buy a blizzard tree at participating locations, and DQ will donate $1 or more to Children's Miracle Network to benefit your local children's hospital. DQ, happy tastes good.
The Royals and the See You in the Major Leagues Foundation are teaming up with Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City to recognize outstanding high school sports coaches through the Blue KC Coaches with Character program. From April to September, we'll recognize 6 coaches as a Blue KC Coach with Character. Each honoree will receive a VIP package that includes tickets to a Royals game and more. Be part of honoring our high school coaches whose service is making Kansas City a better place to live, work, and play. Just go to bluekc.com/nominate Coaches with Character to nominate today.
You know that weird smell your AC makes when you turn it on? Ooh, you really shouldn't. Luckily, you can just take it to Telly. Schedule your service at tellytire.com. You know how avoiding eye contact with people when your brakes screech makes it less awkward? It doesn't. But you can just take it to Telly. Schedule your service at tellytire.com.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
If you're only good to your new friends, you're not going to have any old ones. Straight Talk gets it. That's why new and existing customers get free 5G phones on Verizon's 5G network. Pretty simple, really. You keep good people by being good people.
Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Taxes and fees apply. Plan purchase required for free phone offers. Copyright 2026 Verizon.
You've got a big day, so you use Unstoppable scent boosters to give your laundry non-stop freshness. So no matter how long the day goes, you
can't stop this power, this walk, this pose, this strut, this look, this talk.
Your clothes will be so fresh you can confidently strut into that end of the day meeting like a
boss, 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 bosses. Let's talk business in my office.
Add new Unstoppables beads to your wash for 24-hour non-stop freshness so you can smell unstoppable.
Fanatic Sportsbook makes every baseball game day this season hit harder. Swing for the fences with long ball jackpots. Just pick the player who hits the longest homer of the day to win a share of $50K in fan cash. Every day brings a new shot to win. Customers also get baseball profit boosts every game day. And your bets earn you fan cash, win or lose. To spend on merch, tickets, exclusive experiences, and more. Go deep this baseball season and download Fanatic Sportsbook today for the best baseball betting experience each and every game day. Fanatic Sportsbook. Winning hits different here. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-MyReset. CT call 888-789-7777. MA call 800-327-5050. NY call 877-8-HOPE-NY. MD visit mdgamblinghelp.org. Offer not available in all states. Terms apply. See Fanatic Sportsbook app.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for buying gas. That's right. You can earn cash back with Upside just for buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside, and just last year, I made nearly $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get cash back? If you like extra cash, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back when you fill your tank. Use promo code FRESH to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
When you've got real work to do, Metal Supermarkets will help you get it done fast. We've got a huge variety of metals in stock, and we cut to size fast. Bottom line, we get it done fast, so you get it done fast. Doesn't get easier than that. Metal Supermarkets, the convenience stores for metal. Find a store or buy online at metalsupermarkets.com.
You like saving money, right? We all do. That's why Allstate just lowered the price of car insurance. Not, but wait, there's a catch. Lower. Actually lower. So if you're shopping around or just want to see how much you could save, check Allstate first for a new lower auto rate that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state, only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Go to 965thefan.com for your chance to win Kansas City Chiefs scratch tickets, plus a chance for the grand prize Chiefs bundle, which includes a framed jersey and a signed photo. All thanks to our friends at the Kansas Lottery. Range Bait with Dusty Likens is now up on the Fan's YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter channels. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey Sports Station.
11 o'clock hour here on Cody and Gold. Alex Gold, Cody Tab, JT Noah with you. Coming up in 20 minutes, we'll get to the trash of the day. We're also a half hour away from getting back into the Chiefs. Again, today is a off day of practice. That's why we're not in St. Joe. They're doing their conditioning stuff today. Tomorrow, first full team practice of 2026 camp. And so Cody and I will be up there in St. Joe tomorrow. And we should have a player join us exclusively after practice as well. Looking forward to that. And again, we have secured the helmet that we talked about yesterday. We have it. We'll bring it to camp. So if you've been a supporter of the Cody and Gold Garage Sale, you know we have a lot of different items raising money for the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. And starting tomorrow, every player that we have on the show will sign the helmet, and then we'll put it in the garage sale next year. And the helmet is already starting with one signature, though, just because it's the helmet that we had in the building. So it already has an autograph of Juju Smith-Schuster on it. And then we will add to that throughout camp. So next year's Cody and Gold Garage Sale helmet will have Juju Smith-Schuster and then 13 or 14 other Chiefs players on it.
I kind of love that actually makes it feel more right for the Cody and Gold Garage Sale. The fact that, yes, it's a very cool and unique item, and we don't always get those, and it's all these guests who will be sitting with us at camp, but also Juju's autograph is on it.
Super Bowl champion.
That was a helmet we had available rather than you and I going to the team store to get a fresh one. That one was already here, and Super Bowl champion, like you said. He went to multiple Super Bowls with the team, didn't he?
That is correct, yeah, because I believe that's accurate. He won one, and I believe he went to two. I'd have to think about that for a second. Yeah, I think that's right. Anyway, either way, looking forward to that. Should be a really cool item. Looking forward to talking to some Chiefs players throughout training camp. In the meantime, though, I'm hooked on this Shohei exclusive
I'm gonna have to listen to the whole
podcast.
thing,
I wish it was a 30 for 30 documentary on TV. Instead, it's their 30 for 30 podcast series. So if you don't know what we're talking about, The Betrayal of Shohei Ohtani is the name of a 6-episode 30 for 30 podcast series that, of course, dives into the illegal sports gambling scandal that we all were made aware of, a year ago or 2 years ago, whatever it is?
2 years, yeah.
That involved Shohei Ohtani and his former interpreter. Remember Ipe? And Tisha Thompson is the reporter on this, and the first 2 episodes debuted today. And it talks about the collapse of the relationship between Ohtani and his interpreter and how they claim, of course, the Ohtani's people, and I guess law enforcement did as well, because Ipe is in prison right now.
Yeah.
How he stole $17 million.
Almost 5 years in jail.
$17 million to cover gambling debts. But the big cloud over this always is, hey, was anybody covering for Shohei? How do you know that you were missing X amount of money? How did you not know you were missing X amount of dollars from your bank account? Listen to this. It's a little longer clip, but this is from part of the Betrayal of Shohei Ohtani documentary that just got released from ESPN.
And I learned there is a paper trail that connects Shohei Ohtani to Matt Boyer. And I've tracked down a source who has that proof. But they're nervous, and it takes weeks before the source agrees to show it to me. And they're not going to make it easy. It's the middle of the night. I'm driving to meet my contact. I find them standing outside of a car in a parking lot waiting for me. I drop into the passenger seat. The contact hands me a cell phone and tells me the proof I want will appear on an encrypted app, and each image will disappear in 30 seconds. I can't take pictures, but I can take notes. I pull out my notebook and I tell my contact, I'm ready. A document appears on the screen, September 14th, 2023, $500,000. I spot the word loan and scribble it down in my notebook, but I don't have time to ask questions because the second document appears, October 2nd, 2023, $500,000. Both documents include the same long list of numbers on the screen. Later, after I drive away, I will stare at the jumble of letters and numbers I scribbled into my notebook, and I'll realize it's routing information. I just saw wire transfers from a bank account at Bank of America, and there's a name attached to the account, Shohei Ohtani. According to the screenshots I just saw, Shohei Ohtani's bank account sent wire transfers to Matt Boyer's illegal bookmaking operation. I saw 2 of them, totaling $1 million. I've got it. The direct link between Shohei and the bookie's operation. But before I can even begin to wrap my head around what I've seen, a source reaches out with new information and a new name, Ipe Mizahara, Shohei's interpreter for the past 6 years. The source tells me Ipe is prepared to say he was the one gambling and that Shohei was paying his debts.
So that's how it starts. That's how this 6-part podcast about Ohtani and the alleged gambling involving his interpreter. Now, look, I know there are some people that from the very beginning were convinced that Ohtani was the one gambling. I'm not there. I will say, though, I also am not convinced that he had just no clue that his translator was making bets or his translator was doing $500,000 wire transfers out of his bank account. I think that's hard to fathom, that even if you're that wealthy, you're not noticing that dollar amount. Like you and I noticed if all of a sudden like $10 is different. I'm like, wait, what was that $10 purchase? Even if I was worth $1 billion, I feel like I would still know. Maybe it's just a different world and we don't get it, Cody. I feel like I would know if $1 million was transferred out of my bank account over a couple weeks.
Well, and I would think that I have other people who are, there's lots of people when you're making that amount of money in charge of keeping an eye on your finances. And while eventually they did create it, the fact that some of this is in his name has to be at least some in question. I am surprised how quickly we dropped it, knowing what Ipe would owe to Shohei to wear this one, right? Like, and I'm not saying that he didn't have any involvement in it, but you're right. What I think, here's my current working theory, even though I guess I wouldn't rule out any of the possibilities on either end. I think some of it or most of it was happening with Ipe, but I think Shohei tried to cover it up before. He's like, oh, I didn't know anything. I think he did try to like pay off all the debts, pay off bookies. I think he tried to clean it all up in a way that his boy would never be caught. And that is also not great. And I think it's not as bad as betting on the sport of baseball, but when you do that, you then imply that you might have some guilt, and baseball has to look harder into you. I will say, baseball has spent impossible amounts, long lengths of time investigating stuff. They dropped this one pretty quick.
Because that's the
They
part.
dropped this one real fast. They were like, oh, I looked at it for like 2 days. It was fine. You're like, 2 days? This is your biggest player in a massive gambling scandal.
Well, what you just said, that's why it went away so quick. And that's the part that is, and why this podcast series is very interesting, because I don't think Shohei was sending $500,000 wire transfers for his own debts, but I think somehow he was involved in some way or another. But baseball investigated as quickly as they did, and being done with it, you said you don't get why they did it. They did it because he's the face of the league. He's their biggest star. He's protected. If he was just random baseball player, I don't believe this would have been swept under the rug the way it was. And again, I'm not suggesting that Shohei was the one that had $17 million in gambling debt, and this guy's taken the fall for him entirely. But I just find it hard to believe that Shohei was just completely clueless in the entire thing. And if you're wondering, Ippei was ordered to pay $18 million in restitution back in February of 2025 after he pled guilty to charges of bank fraud and filing a false tax return after he stole $17 million from Ohtani.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. I'm just so curious. Like, none of it makes sense under the normal timelines. Again, they've had players who are under investigation who've been under investigation for entire years sitting out the sport. There are bank transfers from Shohei Ohtani's bank accounts, and after a day, just because one guy said he did it, we're square. And again, I'm like, it at least should raise some eyebrows. It very well
now they
very
said,
easily
remember,
could be eBay. But like, it was like the idea that you don't even want to see if he helped cover it up, which I think you should have concerns about, or a million other things.
Yeah, the reason why I'm not to the extent of some people texting in where they say, oh, it was Ohtani, is because we do know, based on the investigation, not from the league, from law enforcement, that the interpreter was impersonating Ohtani to bankers multiple times.
Yeah.
They have evidence that happened.
Yep.
That would be one of my strongest pushbacks for those that say, oh, it was Ohtani the whole time, is, well, then why was his interpreter impersonating him to the bank to approve these wire transfers? That part wouldn't make sense if it was Ohtani. Also, Ippei made sure to never bet on baseball, but either him or Ohtani or somebody was also terrible at it. He had a net loss of nearly $41 million. He lost $41 million betting.
And this is why, like, the books weren't looking too hard into it during the time. But there were like,
well, no, the books weren't looking because
illegal books.
Ippei wasn't betting on FanDuel. He was betting with. Remember, that was the whole clip there. This
I just meant
illegal
that's why
bookmaking operation.
Yeah. And that's why they weren't trying to like looking if it was actually Shohei's money or Ippei. They didn't care. They're an illegal bookmaking operation. They were happy to just take his $41 million in losses outside of it. Again, some of it is, and this is what I have a problem with these sports that like hide things that seem like it's a scandal for baseball too. Like, you buried that awfully quick. Like, I know why you buried it awfully quick, but as much time as you spend investigating other things, to me, it reeks of the same thing that happened with the New England Patriots when Roger Goodell went in there and had them destroy those tapes awfully fast. Very convenient that Bill Belichick might have been recording stuff that he shouldn't have been recording from NFL teams forever. They lit the tapes on fire in a giant bonfire and were like, nothing to see here. That's weird. That's convenient. It's very convenient that you took all of 17 seconds to look at Shohei Ohtani and we're like, nah, innocent. Like, investigations take longer than the amount of time they cleared him. Like, that's always, like, an investigation can't even be that quick for something that substantial.
I hear you. I'm not defending baseball, but I would say, in fairness to them, the FBI or whatever determined, or whatever law enforcement agency was involved in this. I'm sure it's got to be the FBI. We're talking about illegal bookmaking and tax fraud and all kinds. I'm assuming it's the FBI. They did their investigation and they found, even though the Ippei pled guilty, but they found evidence to suggest that it was this guy. So this is not just baseball covering it up.
Yeah.
This would be the fact that
a massive government to it. And that's why, like you and I are both like, I'm not willing to go all the way to say Shohei was the one betting. Ipe took 50. I don't know very many people in my life that even if I could afford to pay them $30 million to go away, Gold, they would do 57 months in jail for me. Like, Alex, if I offered you $20 million, I'm not sure you're doing 57 months for me. No. And everyone's going to think that you're this degenerate who screwed over his friend. Like, you got to have a terrible reputation and you got to go to jail for 5 years. I'm not sure if I hand over $20 million to you that you're going to jail for me. Maybe you are. Some of you would.
We'll see the next couple parts of this docu-series, a podcast series that ESPN's doing. But in the clip we played, it mentions she met these individuals in a parking lot. They gave her a phone that showed the wire transfers, and it was the link that it was Shohei's bank account. And then magically, what'd she say? A couple days later, the story changed to suggest that now it was Ipe, the translator, that was making the bets. So that story changed in a matter of like 2 or 3 days. That's the part that was interesting.
Yeah, is that this guy was showing her transactions that included and then was like, no, it's Ipe. But maybe they only had the transaction logs, you know? Maybe her source only had the stuff that had Shohei's name on it. We know that Ipe was impersonating him, at least in some capacity, at certain turns. And so this is it. It's still so crazy, though. The idea that 20 million could go missing and it would take you years to notice seems insane to me. Like, I get it, but like compared to his net worth, maybe it would be like me noticing $40 is missing. But as you pointed out, Gold, I probably noticed $40 is just missing.
Yeah, you're just like, well, or you see that transfer or that purchase in a small case. You're like, I wasn't at blank restaurant or whatever, or I didn't go on Amazon and spend $40 yesterday. What's that charge? I just feel like you know it, but I don't know, man. It's something that we're going to be keeping an eye on the ESPN docuseries if any new information comes out. But at this point, I don't think anything's changing though for Shohei Ohtani. I mean, I think it's kind of done. I
got a lot of drives up to camp, and I'm just about to finish my audiobook, so I feel like this is going to be the next thing on the docket, this series, because I am fascinated to know what kind of things maybe they uncovered as part of their investigative series.
Someone on the text line, 913-586-7965, said they'd make the deal that you offered, Cody. And then someone else said, what would happen to Ohtani if he turns out he was the mastermind? Jail, lifetime ban? Well, yes.
Jail for sure, and lifetime ban.
Yeah, and legacy, yeah, all of it, yeah.
Yeah, and he'd have to give back money. And, there'd be lots of problems. But, I mean, look, if you were, I'll be honest, though, here's the thing. If you had enough money to convince the FBI you didn't do it, talk Ipe into spending 60 months in jail, well, then you're never getting caught. Like I think you've already gotten past the threshold of getting busted, I guess, in that way, unless, someone came clean down the road and had text message between you. And I just assume you wouldn't be dumb enough to have a text message between you and Ipe saying, yes, please do this. I'd have a hard time imagining it. But anytime somebody covers something up quickly, that Bill Belichick one, that always makes me think, and they did this to themselves, I will always think that cheating scandal, which was bad anyway, was far, far, far worse than the NFL wanted to let us know that it was. They destroyed evidence far too quick. Because you make things public, but you don't want to hurt the shield, right? Yeah. Can't damage the integrity of the league. And if you found out for 10 years, somebody has a massive advantage over everyone else in the league, you can't, just can't allow it.
Before we get to the trash of the day, there was some tension last night at Union Station. The Royals had a community meeting, which was about the Royals Stadium, of course, going downtown, the Crown Center site. The meeting was at Union Station. For the first hour of the meeting, basically they were, with Crown Center officials, the Royals were discussing plans for rezoning, like how the ingress-egress was going to work, and parking. And very quickly, multiple outlets, and I believe the audio we have is from Channel 9, multiple outlets posted a video, and you could tell how tense it got to the point where ultimately I believe they just ended the meeting, right? I believe the crowd walked out, but also they ended the meeting. That's how, I don't want to say aggressive it was, but it certainly was a very tense meeting. Listen to the audio.
We're gonna take a short break. Yeah, we're gonna take a short break, and then we're gonna deal with what we need to deal with. So either you guys will let the people speak, or we're gonna shut it down for a minute. Your choice. We'll shut it down for you. How about that? How about that? How about we take 5 minutes and we'll let you guys deal with it. Thank you.
So it goes on from there. You can tell the general sense, the mood,
that was real parent
atmosphere.
talking to kid. I will turn this car around and we will go back home if everybody can't get on the same page. But they were disrupting what they were trying to have a public forum, allowing people to ask questions. The protesters were louder than the people who had questions from the public end, and so they shut down the meeting. I guess part of this is, though, at this point, and it's fine. You can still protest for things that aren't going to change. I'm not saying that.
And the rezoning change request was filed back on June 29th. And then on August 5th, there's going to be the City Planning Commission, which is going to discuss the rezoning for the stadium site.
I just if you go back through, look at the text, or Twitch mentioned it. The Royals never did a particularly good job on this. The best thing they did in this entire stadium process was when they announced the Crown Center site and the way that it looked. That is the single best thing they've done. If they don't have to have another public forum, I'd stop. I would stop making this. The best thing you can do is just let time heal all wounds, because once the stadium is built and it's been around for a little while, people forget all this ugliness. And there's always ugliness. To think that this won't exist for the Chiefs, it will too. There'll still be people complaining. There'll still be people protesting. That stuff will always occur for something of this scope that includes taxpayer funds. And so, but it's still really loud at the Royals. It always seems louder with them than the Chiefs, or the Chiefs are better at never holding anything public. So
I think there's a difference. You're in the Royals, their sites have always been downtown. And so you're dealing with groups that are either based downtown or more outspoken versus the Chiefs. They're going out to the Legends. Nobody's quote unquote being displaced. There's no real rezoning happening out in the Legends area out there. I mean, it is a huge plot of land that's already empty. That's why it's a little bit easier and why the pushback's not as much. Although they're going to run into more so with the Star Bond proposals and the finances and everything. But the actual site itself, there's no rezoning happening out there. I mean, it's just empty land versus the Royals, of course, are plopping a stadium in an existing area and it's got to be rezoned and there's going to be buildings and traffic patterns that are going to be changed, whereas that's really not happening with the new Chiefs site. It's just a different project.
Yeah, and so that part of it just, and I agree. And so that part of it is, but to just you could, I guess part of this is you want your voice heard. I would choose the open forum they're giving you to let it be heard. I will say every time I see these public forums, the more I think Parks and Rec was dead on with how they show these public forums and how it works. They really do have that kind of energy. They're kind of chaotic and insane. It always feels like something's going down in them. I don't know how many of these we've covered now between the stadium deals, Alex, but it's always a mess. Let's get to it, JT.
Trash of the day.
We go to Colorado Springs. Colorado Springs. I've been there once. I had a soccer tournament way back at the Air Force Academy. We had a soccer tournament there. Pikes Peak or whatever it's called, I believe, right? It's been a long time, but I have been there. Anyway, a guy was talking about his pet being stolen, and it's the story that goes along with it. So this 3-year-old dog's owner confirmed with the news station there that his dog is back home after being stolen, which is great news. He says the person behind the kidnapping of his dog, because the dog was kidnapped, returned Blanco, which is the name of the dog, to his backyard around 1 a.m. Sunday morning, though through the same gate he was taken. And they left a letter behind. The letter from this individual said, quote, "I'm sorry I did this. I was not in the right state of mind. I was very drunk." Again, the handwriting is very tough to read on this.
Oh, that's great.
Remember doing much of that day. I was very scared on that night, knowing how to return him. I've been taking care of him, brought him food, and made sure he had water. I'm very sorry for what I did. I mean, it's just scribble. This person claims they were drunk, Cody, when they kidnapped somebody's dog and brought it back. My question is, you're obviously glad your dog's back, but would you try to proceed with finding out who did this, or are you just done? You got the dog back?
I got the dog back. And
move on with life.
I will say, I am 99% sure that this is exactly what happened when I was living with my brother. So he had 2 dogs and I had 1. We were living in a house together in Waldo at the time. And one of his dogs went missing. Like, out of the backyard, missing, never made any sense. Dog never tried to get away. We couldn't figure it out. For a week and a half, you put up signs, you do this stuff, you try to find the dog. Then somebody eventually calls, says, hey, I think I found your dog. We go to their backyard, and the dog's there. They found the dog, just loose on the street. The dog had been bathed, had a new collar, looked clean as a whistle. And I'm like, so you stole this dog and then just let it out because you were tired of it? It's that or the dog escaped your yard, and you decided you didn't want to own it anymore. But we eventually got the dog back, but it was like cleaned and groomed and had a new collar on, and got the dog back later. So, I'd probably just let it go, I guess.
Someone says they're John Wicking that guy. Yeah, to me, it's like the dog's back. I would be upset. I guess I would just move on with life at that point because the dog's back and the dog's fine.
Well, I mean, that someone tried to steal my cat when it went missing.
Yeah, but there was controversy around that,
There's
too.
some controversy.
Yeah, this old lady.
My cat went missing. I tried desperately to try to find it. And this old lady's like, I like the cat. I'd like to keep it. My grandson likes it. Like, I don't care if your grandson likes it. Tell that kid to get his own damn cat.
Yeah, did you ever get the cat back?
Yes.
Well, how did you get it back?
I said, we kept pushing, like, we want to come get the cat now. And then eventually she conceded. It turns out it was a girl I went to dance with in high school who convinced her mom to cough it up. Maybe she recognized the name. Maybe we had a nice time at that homecoming. I don't remember what dance it was.
Oh, did you?
It was freshman year. I don't remember.
Okay.
So I actually know this story because I saw it on TikTok, and there's actually footage of the gentleman taking the dog.
He's got like a ring camera on? Stealing the dog? Damn.
So I saw the clip, and it was the daughter. The daughter put it up there saying, hey, my dad's dog was stolen. And you can watch the video clip. It's a big dog. It's not no small dog.
Okay.
The guy tries to drag him out, but he won't come out with the collar. Like, the dog knows, hey, this ain't my owner. Takes off the collar and puts him over his back to carry him out of the gate and walks away. And then I just watched the clips go on, and they finally showed the clip of the letter saying that they brought the dog back. So they know who the identity is. They said they know the person. They know who it was and everything. So... it'd be intriguing to see what they do if they try to get the guy help or whatnot.
That is the trash of the day. Don't steal anybody's dog. This guy claims he was drunk. That's an excuse.
That's a bad.
If someone steals my dog, that'd be a problem.
I've made a lot of bad decisions.
You've been drunk and decided to go steal a dog? I don't think so.
No, I've made a lot of bad decisions when drunk. Stealing someone's random dog would feel like one of the weirdest decisions you could make drunk.
Yeah.
That's not like taking I'm going to steal his glass from the bar. That's someone's dog.
Up next, let's get to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Let's talk more about what's happening in the NFL that might be a year or two away for the Chiefs, and should we be concerned? Plus, another quarterback in the AFC West is engaged. What does it mean for his career? Next.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Vinny Pasquantino, and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Is anyone paying attention to rural Kansas? Everything costs way too much, and the politicians in Topeka keep siding with big tech and give a thumbs up to these massive data centers. We need someone who will fight for our farmers and ranchers and all the working people of Kansas. Vicki Schmidt is running for governor. She's the insurance commissioner who is laser focused on lowering costs and taking a stand against these out-of-state tech companies. Vicki's running mate is Joe Newland. He's the former Kansas Farm Bureau president who has spent his career farming himself and advocating for our rural communities. Vicki Schmidt and Joe Newland will fight tirelessly to protect our land, water, and way of life. That's why the Kansas Farm Bureau has endorsed Vicki and Joe. Finally, someone who has our back. Vicki Schmidt and Joe Newland for governor and lieutenant governor. Defend U.S. PAC paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Dustin McIntyre, Treasurer. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. DefendUSPAC.us.
Hey, it's Dusty Likens, and you know baseball's back. BetMGM, the official partner of Major League Baseball, is bringing the high heat all season long. All season long, you can log into the BetMGM app and receive top-tier promos that put you in the batter's box and up the excitement for America's pastime. Step up to the plate all season with Swing for the Fences, the free-to-play game where every swing could score you rewards. We're talking parlay boost tokens, odds boost tokens, same-game parlay boosts, and even bonus spins all season long. And the action doesn't stop there. Get more out of every at-bat and every inning with MLB same-game parlay boost. Stack your picks and boost your potential payout. Plus, lock in bigger value with MLB Odds Boost tokens and MLB Parlay Boost tokens all season long. More boosts, more swings, more chances to win. Download the BetMGM app and step up to the plate today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 and older only. Missouri only. Existing customer offers subject to eligibility requirements. Please gamble responsibly.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this ad for your morning commute to wake you up, which could help your driving. Science says that stimulating the brain increases alertness. So here's a pop quiz. How many months have 28 days? What gets wetter as it dries? What has keys but can't open locks? If you don't want to hear the answers, turn off this Liberty Mutual ad now. 12 months, a towel, piano. Enjoy being fully alert.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Have you been diagnosed with head or neck cancer? At Kansas City Proton Institute, we're delivering the future of cancer care with state-of-the-art proton therapy right here in KC. Proton therapy means increased precision, reducing side effects like dry mouth, difficulty swallowing, and the loss of taste as compared to conventional radiation. If you've been diagnosed, don't wait. Get your second opinion today and see KC's largest, most experienced proton therapy team. Visit kcpi.com. Kansas City Proton Institute, where you see the best in KC.
When your joints hurt every single day and you've been told you need surgery, it can feel like there's only one option left. But please, do your homework. Remember, once a joint is replaced, there's no going back. Hey, it's Bob Fesco. Before you schedule that surgery, consider getting a second opinion from QC Kinetics. Whether you're dealing with the pain of bone-on-bone arthritis, a torn meniscus, or just years of wear and tear, surgery isn't the only conversation you should have. Talk to QC Kinetics about how they use regenerative treatments to deliver real relief to patients right here in Kansas City. They concentrate tiny healing tools from within your own body, targeting the exact spot that's causing the pain. The whole idea is to give you a real shot at holding off surgery, or in some cases, avoiding it altogether. So get your free consultation at QC Kinetics now, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. Located at 435 in State Line and in Gladstone, 816-412-6299.
The Colonel is the king of chicken. That's why he's always had a beef with beef. But on Wednesdays, he's squashing the beef by frying it. KFC Country Fried Steak is here for only $4.99. Crispy golden outside, tender steak inside. Served with peppery gravy, mashed potatoes, coleslaw, and a biscuit. At last, the Colonel and beef buried the hatchet in gravy. Get the $4.99 Country Fried Steak Wednesdays for a limited time only at KFC.
Prices and participation may vary while supplies last. Not available on third-party ordering platforms. Tax, tip, and fees extra.
Jake from State Farm. I'm winning. I finally cleaned my house, so I'm breaking out my new tropical room spray.
Keep winning and create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. It's like your own personal paradise.
Ooh, hey, grab me a coconut water.
Bundling, just another way to save with a personal price plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
My Lowe's Pro Rewards members, save big during Lowe's Pro Savings Days. Get your member volume discount plus an extra 5% off eligible orders with a quote of $2,000 or more. And buy more and save more with up to 20% off in-stock molding when you spend $250 or more. Members get more at Lowe's. Valid through 7/31. Exclusions, more terms, and restrictions apply. Can't be combined with any contract or special pricing. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Visit the Pro Desk or Lowe's.com/terms for more details. Subject to change.
Royals coverage is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City.
Brought to you by Blue KC is the Coaches with Character program. Do you know a rock star high school coach in your district? Nominate them for the Blue KC Coaches with Character program at bluekc.com/nominate coaches with character. Let's make our coaches feel special and make our community a better place to live, work, and play.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Evan Johnson from the Kansas City Chiefs, and welcome into the Chiefs Red Half Hour every day at 11:30 on Cody and Gold on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
It is Chiefs Red Half Hour, and right around this time, sometimes when we're back up at camp tomorrow, it would be maybe when we're wrapping up our interview with a player or maybe interviewing a player. Those start up again tomorrow. We'll be at Mo West, broadcasting live, the only station, only show broadcasting during Chiefs practice, right from just outside the practice field is us. So we're looking forward to that tomorrow from 10 to 2 here on 96.5 The Fan. During the break, I did see right before we went to break, Justin Herbert and his longtime girlfriend, Madison Beer, are now officially engaged. Maybe that's what he needs to turn the tide for his playoff lack of success and terrible performances.
To be married?
Maybe
Settle down?
Maybe that's what he needs.
Do you remember when people were worried that Patrick Mahomes was going to be worse when his wife was pregnant?
That was a real thing.
Like Brady was pregnant, and they were like, "I think that's it. Can't focus on football anymore. He's got to take care of a kid." I'm like, you do know that other athletes have had children before, right? Really good ones? Well, congrats, I guess, to Justin Herbert. I don't know anything about. Do I know a song from Madison Beer? What kind of music does she sing? Let's see. Singer-songwriter. First gained attention after Justin Bieber posted her link to a cover of At Last. She's 27 from New York. I'm just trying to decide if I know any of her, like...
I'm not familiar with her.
Yeah, me either. But that's fine. I'm sure somebody...
Congrats to them. Maybe that's what Justin Herbert and the Chargers actually need moving forward. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. Are all the quarterbacks in the division now... well, Mendoza's not, I guess.
No, Mendoza's not.
Cousins
married.
is married.
What I was
Mahomes
about
is
to say,
married. Bo
Cousins is the
Nix.
starter?
Bo Nix.
I don't think Bo Nix is married.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm not sure. Anyway,
Let's see.
Doesn't really matter.
No, he is married. He got married in 2022. He got married young. He's married to a girl named Izzy Smoke. What's with the name of the Madison Beer? Izzy Smoke. We got some interesting... She took his last name, but like we got some interesting
Izzy
names.
Nix is her name now?
Izzy Nix.
Sounds like a
Former
musical
Auburn
artist.
University cheerleader. They married in 2022. They were college sweethearts.
Someone was asking who were our camp darlings. Well, we did the draft yesterday. I guess real quick we can get into that before we get to something in regards to what might happen for the Chiefs in the next year or two. Yesterday we did our camp darling draft. Friday we'll eliminate somebody. We did our draft. Cody he had the first pick. He went Cyrus Allen.
Oh, no.
He went Jeff Caldwell and Xavier Lloyd. So he went 2 undrafted wide receivers and 1, of course, 5th-round pick. JT was drafting in conjunction with Drew. JT went Emmett Johnson. He had the 2nd pick. Garrett Nussmeier, which I think that's going to result in an elimination quick.
It's called sabotage.
And then defensive end Ashton Gelati, and Nate Taylor even said maybe that name shouldn't have been allowed to be drafted. We'll see.
He said it was fringe, but we allowed it.
I had the last pick. I went R. Mason Thomas, Jaden Canaday, and Jalen Royals. So those are our camp darlings. For 2026, we'll see who ultimately is the 2026 camp darling. We get one player that it's like a reality TV show. One player can get added in that's not on the list or added back in, just like it would happen on a TV show. So if you think we screwed up and we didn't select the player you wanted, there's a chance they could get voted on the island at some point.
And then it would just be the fan vote.
And last year, Tyquan Thornton won it. Easily.
Yeah.
Someone says, what does the winner get? We don't have a trophy made up for the player. We don't want to really insult the player too much, but...
Because Camp Darling feels like it could be an insult.
Like, it's technically the Justin Ross Camp Darling Award, if we had a name for the trophy.
Correct. It's the Justin Ross Annual Camp Darling. Named after him officially after we had a lot of different rules in place for Justin Ross. But at least there. I will say there's other quarterback news as well.
All right.
Multiple people reporting now that the contract talks between the Bucs and Baker will end, and he will just play under the final year of his deal.
They screwed up.
Over there in Tampa Bay. And I'll say, any of the contract extension talks, Vita Vea's asking out, it feels like they're pinning their hopes on next year's quarterback class and a reset. Because if you let it get all the way here, I kind of feel like Baker will find a different place to play.
Oh, I think this means he's done.
I think he's scheduled to become a free agent in March, as you know. I think this is the last year for him in Tampa.
As long as he goes out and has a decent year and stays healthy, I think this is it now in Tampa, because he had said about a month or so ago that once camp started, he is done negotiating. And
now they're calling it off. Yeah.
There was no bluffing, barring some drastic change here pretty quick. I'll always say before the season starts, there's a chance. Once we get to week 1, then it's done. But I'll still say, there's always a number that will get you to come back to the table.
Sure.
But yeah, I think this could be it for Baker in Tampa. And he's playing at a high enough level. Somebody else that has a young quarterback that wants to stop or doesn't get the quarterback they want next year in the draft, they need a stopgap quarterback. I think Baker will find himself a starting gig somewhere again next year if he's healthy, but it doesn't feel like it's going to to be in Tampa Bay after this year.
Where do you think, what is a logical landing spot for a guy like Baker next season? Is he the perfect fit for we draft a second-round quarterback or we draft a first-round quarterback late in the first round, but we let Baker take the keys for a little bit? Is he a Jet? Is he he's not going back to Cleveland. I'm just thinking of the teams that'll need a quarterback next year. Maybe Miami, but they gave Malik Willis a multi-year deal. So I would think they would just draft a guy and start Malik again next year. Jets, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, be a Steeler. That doesn't seem crazy. They seem to like to go the veteran route. What's the point of having Mike McCarthy if you're just going to restart at quarterback? At that point, you might as well just take a young guy, so maybe him. Maybe Tennessee be done with Cam Ward.
No.
After this year?
No.
2 years in?
You know what would be interesting would be
pretty bad.
Indianapolis with Daniel Jones.
I know, but they just gave him the extension.
They're stuck with him financially.
So I feel like they're kind of tied there. Maybe
it's going to be a team that doesn't. It's going to be a team that thinks they look at the draft class and ends up not being as good, or they win a few too many games. They're outside the top 3 or 4. It would be a team that thought they were going to be able to go get one of the top quarterbacks, and they can't.
I think he's going to be a Steeler.
How about to say Pittsburgh would be a good one?
The only thing that works for the Bucs in this case is, I will say the suitors are not as big of a list as I was anticipating. Unless he wants to go to a laughingstock. He wants to go back to Cleveland, which he's openly dunked all over multiple times since leaving. So he's never going back there. Or Arizona to take over after Jacoby Brissett's season or whatever. Maybe Minnesota, if the Kyler one doesn't work out, they go back to the well with Kevin O'Connell and another vet quarterback.
Yeah.
I could see
I think it's going to work in. We'll get to all 32 later today in the noon hour, but I think it's going to work in Minnesota.
Yeah.
With Kyler Murray.
Just interesting, at least. That's just other news. They're saying they're going to call off their stuff at the moment. So we'll see which way it goes. We'll talk basement and ceiling coming up here in just a little bit. But you had pointed out, we somehow yesterday, despite seeing them, did not spend a single second talking about what I would call wretched uniform choice from the Buffalo Bills. And before we talk about the choice for their Nickel City uniforms, it's not something I've ever heard Buffalo called, but maybe that's what they're called. I will say, because someone might say, I've never heard Kansas City called City of Fountains, and they might be surprised they weren't from here, so fair enough.
Okay.
The Chiefs are going to screw this up, man.
Well, the Bills' uniforms are hideous.
They're awful. And what I think the biggest mistake is they think they got to go boring, and the Chiefs, when they have to make these uniforms a year from now, stop using gray. It's a terrible color in a jersey. It works maybe 5% of the time. The Red Sox jerseys... and maybe the Yankees roads, the end of the list for all of gray jerseys. Kansas's gray jersey stinks. Everything is better with some amount of actual color. And those Bills ones are bad.
They look
really bad.
They look like, a spring football league uniform. That's honestly what it reminds me of immediately. Maybe that cross, it almost looks like Boise State's blue uniform or gray uniforms that they have with the way the stripe is on the shoulder pad. It's tough for these alternative uniforms to actually pay off and be good looking. There's only a few. And yeah, the chances of the Chiefs alternate being a home run is probably slim. I think as long as they avoid the yellow one in a couple of years and they don't have a jersey that's mainly yellow, I think the Chiefs will do all right. But there's been very few. There's been maybe 2 or 3 of these alternate NFL ones that have actually looked pretty good in the last few years. And the Chiefs have to do one, I think, in 2028. Is that right?
Yeah. I think it's next season.
Okay.
Isn't it?
Okay, we can
I got to look it up. It's one of the next 2 years. Because the Chiefs are going to be forced to do a City Connect. They don't call it that in the NFL, but it's the same thing. The NFL is part of their licensing.
Yeah, the rivalry
jerseys.
Which I actually thought some of those were actually really good.
They're scheduled to debut
next year.
2027, yep.
I like the Cardinals Sandstorm ones they had last year.
But the team does still have some say in it, and we know Clark Hunt is old school, likes the classic, likes the tradition. I don't think they're going to have some crazy bold alternate uniform.
That's why I think it's going to look like this. It's just going to be gray, and it'll be an arrowhead just hollowed out with nothing on it, and it'll just look like, what if we didn't have anything on the jersey? What if we devoided it of color and letters? And they'll try to do it that way. And at least if they did it like matte black or black on black, at least then it would look
the matte black helmet. That's where I'm at. The matte black helmet with a red outlined arrowhead would be sick.
I think they might get all white, where it would be white helmet, white top. Because you get the away ones too. So I think they might
get
all
white look is already pretty white.
I know, but I'm saying you get the white top, so you get a white helmet, then you got the all white. Like what you get with Cincinnati with their white helmets and their white.
But that's the same problem with the gray. this is always the difficult part is you have to take a chance, but how do you take a chance without making it hideous? And the Bills are a prime example of people sat around, a bunch of really good designers all sat around, and for these nickel city jerseys, what they came up was and by the way, just when you say it out loud, who the hell wants to look like a nickel? Like, whose fashion choice is that? Yeah, I was really thinking about it for a while. They've got like an interview with a guy who was like, oh, he's a metal worker, and look at us, and we're blue collar. Now, and they ruled. Did you see, like, I love that they have an art installation at their thing that looks like a broken table. You see that?
Yeah, in the stadium.
That's cool as hell.
It's very cool. They got room for broken tables in their stadium. The Chiefs need trophy cases for theirs, so they chose the steps forward with the tables instead of trophy cases. That's why it's pretty cool.
Yep. The helmet might be the worst part of this entire thing, by the way. Utilizing the existing brand color, we pull inspiration from the steel mills, grain elevators.
Go look at the U.S.
Anybody read the Hunger Games? Nobody wants to look like a grain elevator.
Look at any of the spring football leagues over the last couple of years. I'm telling you, that's what this uniform for the Bills is.
Yeah, it's not far off from Kansas's gray ones, which are also awful. Why, this is always the same thing. This is where I actually give Clark a lot of credit. As much as I get jealous sometimes when somebody actually hits on a good alternate uniform, like I think the Royals, I especially liked their City Connect before this one, but I like their current ones. But there are some other ones that are like, oh, those are good, like great. Like when they hit on so I'm jealous. But the Chiefs might have it right in the sense that it just feels like there's way more misses than hits.
Well, anytime you change up your uniform and you've been a franchise around for a while, the chances of it being a home run is always going to be slim.
It's going to be harder for Kansas City.
Look at the Royals. There's some City Connects. The first one I think a lot of people like. This one, not a ton of people like.
Someone says it's gray to represent the depression of living in Buffalo in winter. That's essentially what they said. They said we chose our team colors after grain elevators and steel workers.
And I loved it. If you watch the video,
you
couldn't even get your star quarterback to promote it with you. He's not even in the video at all. It's other players besides Josh Allen in the jersey. He got the phone call. He's like, all right, send over the jersey. And he's like, I'm not going to promote this. This is bad.
Oh, man. It's just there's so much accurate.
Look up, Cody, that gray uniform for the Bills. Go look up St. Louis Battlehawks and look up their gray uniform.
St. Louis Battlehawks.
Cody, it's the same gray. It's the same damn uniform.
I'm just telling you, like, I think gray is the worst of almost everyone's
It's the same uniform.
Oh, yeah, that's real similar.
It's like the same exact uniform. The helmet's different.
They got a little more red, I guess. But the helmet's just like they pushed the logo back. Like it's getting lost in the back of the helmet versus the front. I don't know, man. It's tough. I'm scared. I'm scared for next year.
It'll be okay.
Because it'll be like probably some point later this year or in the summer that they'll reveal
next summer.
Here comes the Chiefs rivalry uniform. Well, I mean, it depends because they just announced it, right? So we're now only in year 2. But they've already announced. We already know some of the ones. We know all the ones the teams will be wearing this year.
But the Bills, this is for this year, right? They just announced it. Yeah. So they waited till a month before the season. So it could be as late as training camp next year before we find out.
We'll see. I'm scared.
Or we can be all surprised and it ends up being a really cool thing and we get our wish.
Yeah, maybe. Let's talk about the Chiefs on the field this year. You and I earlier were discussing floor and ceiling with this team. And we're not way off on the floor. You said 9 wins, I said 10. Ceiling, you said 12, I said 13. So our ranges are the same. I'm just one game higher on either end of the scale. What I'm surprised by, and this is where I think I think if you're anywhere below 8 or 9, you're just being a hater. I'll be honest. I think if you think their floor is 8 wins, barring injury, you hate this roster in a way that I can't possibly hate it just because there is a floor. He's not Joe Burrow. I want to point out, like, the quarterbacks who have a bad roster and can't win, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, he, in every other year in his career, has had great rosters, some good rosters, some very mediocre rosters. And in every year except for last year, he takes those teams to the playoffs. And so I could have talked myself into 9. I could have easily slid the scale down and said, you know what? There's a way in which Worthy and Rice don't develop, or Rice just isn't on the field because he seemingly gets off the field a lot. The national media is right about the offensive line, and I'm wrong. For the first time, Spags can't get the secondary around, and the pass rush is no better.
But Cody,
that's how you get to 9, but I don't think all 4 of those things are happening at once.
But see, I guess I don't think all 4 are happening at once, but I guess I disagree. You're saying all those have to happen for them to be an 8 or 9 wins.
To be to 7 or 8, yeah, I do.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think all those things have to happen for that to be the case. I think their floor is 9 wins. Things have to go wrong clearly for that to be the case. I think they're more likely, we'll give our official predictions later on, I think they're more likely a 10-win football team than anything else this year. I think they're a 10-win wildcard team as of right this second. We'll do our official picks right before the start of the season. And yeah, the ceiling I think is 12. And by the way, saying the ceiling is 12, to me, that likely wins you the division at 12. I don't think anybody's getting to 14 wins in the division like the Broncos did a year ago. This is why all offseason, I just think this was a defensive-focused offseason. To me, they did not correct all their holes in one offseason. That, to me, next year will be a big focus on the offense to get right and to reset the cap. I think that's what this year was about as well. And they move forward. They're not punting on this year. You get in the dance, you got a chance with Patrick Mahomes. You get in the playoffs, you got absolutely a chance to do it. We obviously saw him win on the road for 3 straight games or whatever it was on the way to a championship before. The questions with this team is, and this is why you and I brought up the schedules, like they got to make up a ton of their ground early in the season, but you also still have, while we all are excited, Patrick Mahomes is clear for practice and everything seems to be heading in the right direction, it's still a team that has Mahomes coming off a serious injury. And we don't know, while we were discussing yesterday, we don't know, is part of the plan this year to protect him more? And does that limit some of the great playmaking opportunities that he has had? Nobody's suggesting, and I certainly am not, that at some point in his career that he won't be back to being Patrick Mahomes full go. That's going to happen. I hope it's this year. I don't know if it will be. But I was driving back from St. Joe yesterday, and I actually thought Carrington brought up a good point. He's like, hey, the last time Mahomes got hurt, even if it was a weird QB sneak play, they refused to ever do a QB sneak again. Carrington brought up the question, and I thought it was a good point, which is, all right, he got hurt this year, or last year, and he was running way more. He even acknowledged he needs to run less. Is that going to be less part of his game moving forward through his career? And if so, they won a lot of football games because he just extended plays and did all that. That's a fair question moving forward, and that changes
to a detriment.
That changes perhaps how we view them. So we'll see.
It is weird because, like in the AFC, I still think everybody's win totals were artificially high because the Chiefs weren't good. I think so many of the teams that have normally, some of them would have lost a game to the Chiefs. Not all of them, but I don't think the Broncos and Patriots both get to 14. The Jags get to 13. The Texans and Bills both get to 12. The Chargers get to 11. If the Chiefs are even just their normal amount of 10 or 11 wins, they're knocking down 3 of those teams from their win total by, let's say, splitting against Denver or splitting against the Chargers or, like the games in which they lost, because they played literally all of those teams. They were terrible against playoff teams last year. But that's the other part about it, because the Chiefs were still, and this is the part about last year that I think, because they were so bad, I think we forget about it. And I've told you before, I still think it is hard to erase what they were at the end of the year. And so when the people think of the Chiefs, they think of the Chiefs at the end of the year when, like, the train was way off the tracks and Chris Oladoka was starting and Esapole was your left tackle. And for the same reason 2 years ago that the Chiefs going, 12-1, 11-1 in one-score games. Do you know what they went last year in one-score games? Because they were still in a bunch of them.
It was the opposite.
1-9. They're not going 1-9 in one-score games this year. Even if it neutralizes to 500, it's a 9-10 win team. And I think that they are better. I think they are better in the running game. I think Ken Walker makes their offense better. They might be worse on defense, admittedly, but it just kind of depends. I don't know yet. That, to me, is a story that's not yet told. Offensively, they're going to be better than last year. Whether Mahomes runs or not. Maybe it hurts him in some of the key drive situations or those end-of-game situations, but they are better offensively even if Mahomes runs for 100 yards this season, in my opinion. And so between Ken Walker and just availability odds between, how many games did Xavier Worthy ended up playing like 15 games last year, but they were all.
But he was hurt all year.
Yeah. And Rice played.
The biggest question is, the biggest question other than just overall offensive scheme is just how are they getting after the quarterback on the defensive side of the ball? We've talked about it a ton. Does Chris Jones have enough in the tank still? Is Karlaftis, was it truly just the hand injury that limited him? Is R. Mason Thomas going to develop into something special right away? Is it going to be a rotation? The secondary, we think Mansour Delane is going to be a stud, but is he a stud right away? Like there's still a ton of questions, and why there's a reason why their win total is in that 10 or 11 range anyway.
Yep, with everybody else.
Versus in the past where it had been 11.5. It's in the mix, in the wash with everybody else. Can they emerge? This is one of the few years where they don't enter the season, though, as one of the clear number 1, number 2 teams. Does it mean that they can't be one of the better teams in the AFC? Of course they can, But they don't enter this year as clearly the best team in the AFC like they had for 5 years in a row, essentially.
Their schedule's so weird because based on Vegas forecasted win totals, which you and I care more about than win-loss last year, it is a more accurate predictor of strength of schedule, in my opinion. Based on Vegas win totals this year, the Chiefs actually have the 10th easiest schedule in the NFL. What's weird, the reason why, though, their schedule is so, what we don't want to talk about it is so Jekyll and Hyde, it is hard to put into words. Because they have probably what I think are the 5 best rosters in the NFL on their schedule. They have to take on the Seahawks, Bills, Rams, in Cincinnati. They have to take on New England. Like, they've got a bunch of some of the better rosters in the NFL on their schedule. They also have legitimately, maybe all 5 teams are going to be picking in the top 5. Like, they have the Arizona and the Jets and the Raiders and Miami. They might have the 5, they might have picks 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 on their schedule.
Could be.
So, like, their strength of schedule is weird because it seems to me they might have 6 layups on the calendar. A couple against the Raiders, Miami, Jets.
Yeah, and as you know, there's
Arizona.
Always, it looks like they do, but as you also know with the schedule, there's going to be a couple of those teams that are better, even if it's a little bit, and then there's going to be a couple of those games week 13 through 17 that we think right now are, murderer's row, and one of those teams ends up not being as good, or their quarterback's out for that week, and suddenly that game's easy. Like, it just happens. We don't know what it is,
for sure.
but it just happens that way in the NFL. We can't predict that part of it, but it is. The schedule is very interesting here and can dictate quite a bit here and how the Chiefs get going to start the first month and a half or so of the season. All right, up next, let's get to what's trending. Then we'll get to a little All 32. And one comment and reaction we got from one particular Chiefs player, from some other media members that were up there as well, and whether or not it's okay to be a little concerned, that's next.
You're listening to Cody and Gold.
We're going to try to tickle your tonsils.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. And Doug.
Hot dog! Get your hot dog!
Customize and save with Liberty Mutual.
Hey, what are you doing?
I like your method. Direct, to the point. A little loud, but...
Listen, people don't buy car insurance the same way they do hot dogs.
Not yet, but both are customizable.
Popcorn! Get your popcorn!
Hey, this is a hot dog area.
And customize and save area. Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local agent.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
The best football contests are back out in Las Vegas with Circa Sports. $30 million in guaranteed prizes, no rake in any of the 3 contests. Circa Million, 18 weeks of point spread action, 128 ways to win. Or Circa Survivor, you pick one winner each week, the last one standing wins. And Circa Grandissimo with $100,000 entry. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere. $30 million guaranteed. Visit circusports.com for details.
The Advent Health Championship is Casey's only PGA Tour event. Whether you're a golfer or you just want to be part of the fun, family-friendly event, see the future stars of the PGA Tour at Blue Hills Country Club, August 20th through 23rd. Ticket information at adventhealthchampionship.com.
You don't have to carry everything on your own. Whether you're dealing with stress, anxiety, depression, substance use, or thoughts of suicide, talking to someone can help, and help is available 24/7 through the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. You can call or text 988 anytime to connect with a trained mental health professional. 988 is free, confidential, easy to remember, and available anytime, anywhere, to anyone. Call or text the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. No judgment, just help.
Hey, it's Rex here with Rex Buys KC. I get it. Selling your house can sometimes feel overwhelming or scary, right? I've seen it too many times. A homeowner thought they had a deal, only to have the buyer back out at the last minute. That's not how we do business at Rex Buys KC. I'm local, I know Kansas City, and I make sure every deal actually closes like it's supposed to. No hidden fees, no showings, no last-minute surprises, just a fair cash offer and a process you can count on. We buy homes in any condition and judgment-free. So whether your house needs repairs or you just want a fast, hassle-free sale, we can make it happen. If you want certainty, transparency, and someone local who actually delivers, call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time. 816-330-6000 or rexbuyskc.com.
Men, if your energy is down, your workouts aren't producing results, you're gaining stubborn weight, losing muscle, sleeping poorly, or just not feeling like yourself anymore, it may be more than just aging. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health. Our low T and body composition treatments are designed to help men regain energy, improve focus, sleep better, build lean muscle, reduce unwanted fat, and restore confidence both in and out of the gym. At Heartland Men's Health, we specialize in helping men optimize their health, performance, and vitality. Using personalized medical treatments tailored to your health and goals, many men begin noticing improvements in energy, mental clarity, recovery, motivation, libido, and overall body composition within just a few weeks. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, PSA and T-test, and a medical consult. And if you start on treatment the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices: Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
Future therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
I built this business the old-fashioned way. Hard work and a whole lot of spreadsheets.
Yeah, about that, I upgraded us to Odoo. Odoo puts everything we need, sales, inventory, accounting, on one connected platform. No more juggling systems, no more headaches.
So it all works together?
Exactly.
Odoo is the all-in-one business software that makes running and passing on a business easier than ever. Take your business into the next generation. Try Odoo free at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight illnesses like pneumococcal pneumonia and RSV. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and can help protect you from getting really sick. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. See more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Onyx, I keep having stomach issues. Please make me a doctor's appointment.
Okay, are you suffering from diarrhea, bloating, gas, or oily stools? If so, you may want to ask your doctor if it could actually be a problem with your pancreas, called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI.
My pancreas? How is EPI treated?
A prescription medicine like Creon, pancrelipase, is used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes. Creon is the #1 prescribed treatment for EPI.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor, and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. You can learn more at 1-800-633-9110.
Before your appointment, visit creoninfo.com. That's CREON info.com.
Go to 965thefan.com for your chance to win Kansas City Chiefs scratch tickets, plus a chance for the grand prize Chiefs bundle, which includes a framed jersey and a signed photo. All thanks to our friends at the Kansas Lottery.
This is Michael Waka from the Kansas City Royals, and you're listening to 96.5 The Fan.
KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station. What's trending?
Cheddar, mozzarella, Havarti.
#1 on what's trending, the Chiefs. No practice today in St. Joe. That's why we're back in the studio. We'll be up there tomorrow. That'll be the first full day of training camp when everybody is on site. Today is a conditioning day for the Chiefs, although Matt Derrick did report some unfortunate news for a guy that was maybe battling for a depth spot at a position where they don't have a ton of depth. That's defensive end. Ethan Downs reportedly has torn his ACL during the rookie portion of camp, so a big bummer for him, and would have been a guy that was competing for one of the final spots there on the defensive line.
Yeah, it's tough, obviously, because you don't want to hurt your depth, but also this isn't a player that people were anticipating playing a ton, so I don't want to make it seem like that, that's going to massively change what version it gets. Little news around the NFL. Next up on What's Trending, Baker Mayfield to play on the final year of his contract as they can't work out an extension before camp started. And just announced a minute ago, Jalen Carter gets a new 4-year, $152 million extension from the Philadelphia Eagles. Extension could be worth up to $160 in total, including $106 million guaranteed. Makes him the highest paid defensive tackle in NFL history. Obviously, I think it was the Rosenhauses who represents him, but he's now paid like the highest defensive tackle in the NFL, up to $40 million a year, but 106 of which is guaranteed for Jalen Carter.
So $38 million on average. Jeffrey Simmons is $35.2 million. Chris Jones is on average $31.75. Dexter Lawrence, $28, and then Milton Williams, $26. Those are the 5 highest paid.
What I always hate about the Jalen Carter thing is he got in a little bit of trouble, and we all knew it was a nightmare the second he fell to Philly. We were all like, damn it, you idiots. You all let Philly just sit at 10 and get this guy, and he's going to be really good. And obviously, they think he's still really good based on the amount they just paid him.
Elsewhere on What's Trending, the Royals are in action in the Twin Cities tonight, taking on the Twins. 6:40 first pitch. Vern's on deck show at 5:30. Seth Lugo gets the nod for the Royals, who, of course, are 45 and 62.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, I'd hope that they would, if they want to win 20 games in a row and make it interesting, I'm there, but don't think it's going to happen.
20 in a row.
Well, I mean, I got to get them above 500 to make it interesting. Next up on What's Trending, more reporting from the Kyle Shanahan accident. Chris Sims has said, who's his friend of his, says he nearly lost an eye due to the accident. SI was reporting that he was holding his phone during the time, but the other driver was at fault. Maybe delayed his reaction time or whatever people are going to say about it. He was not cited for it, but they're saying he was using his phone during that time, as we continue to keep an eye on when he'll be fully available for the team. But yeah, Chris Sims did say he almost lost his eye.
Yes,
which is scary.
Very scary. Some college basketball news. The NCAA made a change, I believe, this offseason where you can have 3 exhibition games if you're a college basketball program. So the update on this is John Calipari said that Arkansas will play, he's saying, Kansas at Allen Fieldhouse in a exhibition game coming up later on. So not official from either school, but Cal's quoted as saying that. I would say that means it's happening.
Yeah, feels like a pretty good source. Next up on What's Trending, FIFA's president Gianni Infantino is planning on trying to sell stakes in the World Cup to private investors under a, scheme that could potentially earn him tens of millions of pounds, as they put it, because it's a British reporter. Investors discussed held figures close to people in the Trump administration and many other high-level investors that could be there. FIFA and some of the teams around FIFA are saying, you can't just sell stakes in it. Their argument's going to be that it's our tournament. I don't know what the hell's going to happen next. I think maybe we'll talk about it tomorrow. FIFA is so corrupt. And now it'd be like, well, now you're going to say in what we're doing. Oh, yeah, that'll be a great way to hold a tournament that should be held under the guise of fairness. Could you imagine if just like Tyson Foods owned stake in the NCAA tournament? Oh, then all of a sudden Arkansas gets a good draw? That'd look great, I'm sure. I'm sure that wouldn't look weird at all.
Or the United States owns stake in the World Cup suddenly. Yeah, that could be problematic for a lot of
Well, and then imagine how the Balagun story goes versus even then, or if they get the easiest group and all of a sudden they're like, well, I mean, yeah, it turns out, some super investor in the U.S. owns stake. We can talk about it.
I don't think any of us should be surprised, though, because how many stories we had over the years with, private equity firms getting stake in some,
everything.
The value of NFL franchises and NBA teams is getting so high that you're seeing that happen.
I'll tell you right now, they sell stakes in it. That'd be the beginning of commercials for the FIFA World Cup tournament as you know it. Immediately, it will turn into a money grab to try to get their investment back.
We already had commercials that they disguised as hydration breaks.
There'll be 7 hydration breaks. It'll turn out a tournament. They will completely change the system.
That is What's Trending here on Cody and Gold. Alex Gold, Cody Tapp. JT Noah filling in for Drew, producing the show today. You guys can always interact with us on the J Southland Tow Service text line, 913-586-7965. Video stream up and running on YouTube, Twitch, X, and Facebook. We'll get to all 32. We haven't done one in a bit. Remember, during football season, we'll do it a couple times a week.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get to that in just a few minutes. But back to the Chiefs. Camp really gets going, as I said, tomorrow. Mansour Delane is obviously a player we're all going to be watching throughout camp. He's the 6th overall draft pick. He also stands out right now on the field, not in a good way. That's because he's wearing the yellow non-contact jersey. He had some shoulder issues throughout the offseason. And the other story around him has been that he's maybe being a bit too aggressive, actually, throughout the offseason program.
Well, he's getting burnt. Like, the reality is, and we saw a little bit of it yesterday, he's being, and some of the highlights and reporters have been up there, he's getting tested and losing sometimes. And losing right now is losing to players who have no chance to make the roster, okay? Some who might have a fringe chance of being the 6th wide receiver, most who don't have a chance to make the roster at all. Which, when we're talking about, we're not talking about the 4th round rookie we're hoping comes around. We're talking about the 6th overall pick needing to make sure that he shores it up. But it's weird. I like this time for being the most aggressive version of yourself. this headline, or not this headline, this storyline to me doesn't reek fully of it, but it reeks a little of the ESPN.com headline of Patrick Mahomes has dun, 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 8 interceptions during training camp already. Yeah, they are supposed to test the limits to find out what they can and cannot do at this level. And if Mansour Delane is taking his time to do that, I'll listen. I will not grow concerned about his inability to get coverage unless the Chiefs start talking about him not starting day one somewhere along the way.
Yeah, he has to start day one anyway.
Yeah, I mean, kind of no matter what.
Yeah,
they're not going to roll up L'Jarius Sneed and Noel Williams on the outside. You wouldn't be
it's-
concerned unless he got burnt, would you? Bo Nix tears him apart in week one, then we'd have a
But
conversation.
even then, it's still 1 week. I mean, look, I would say if you're telling me that he looks a little slower against even some of these rookies during the rookie portion of camp, while also acknowledging he's had a shoulder problem all offseason and is still wearing a yellow non-contact jersey, that kind of makes sense. I'm sure it's affected some of the conditioning and some of the ways he wants to play and how comfortable he is. I want to know how much longer does he have to wear this yellow non-contact jersey, and is he going to be able to put on pads and actually go full steam ahead this weekend or whatever their first padded practice is. But the bar should be very high for Mansour Delane. I by no means am I changing any expectation because of what has happened at a couple rookie training camp practices. Not at all.
I just I guess that's part of what it is. Now, look, it does concern me sometimes when you're bad against bad competition. I feel like a lot of times you should be like, you're the 6th overall pick. You should be
But if you're hurt,
dominating these guys. But I don't rule that out. Like maybe he looks a little slow. Looks a little slow to the jump. Those could be explained by I had off-season surgery and I'm just taking a little time to ramp up. I can. That's a perfectly reasonable excuse for why you might be off to a slow start.
did he have surgery or just a shoulder injury?
Injury,
I don't know if we ever heard about
maybe
surgery.
it was just
I thought it was just an injury, but
maybe it was
I'm honestly not 100% either, but I don't think it was surgery.
No, I can't remember. Maybe it was just the injury. Yeah, you might be right. Sorry. Yeah, right. I think it just says anything injury, I guess.
He suffered an injured shoulder in OTAs.
Yeah. So sorry. Injury,
From
not
playing
surgery.
too aggressively is what they, which is a fun. By the way, that line is hilarious. You're like, you're an NFL player playing too aggressively as a corner. Like there is not.
In OTAs, there might be a playing too
aggressively. You're right. He's out there trying to set the tone and prove himself maybe a little bit.
See, I take those as compliments. I really do.
No, I hear you.
It's just it's a player that we can't discuss it like, we can't discuss it with the same lightness, in my opinion, that we would Mahomes in a camp now, or if Ken Walker, like these people who have proven something. He is because of the Trent McDuffie trade, he is such an important player for this year's team that they just really don't have much of a choice. They're relying heavily on him. They can't easily afford a slow start from Mansour Delane. And look, there's 6+ weeks remaining before he has to ever play a snap in the NFL. So, but week one is you have to guard Cortland Sutton or you have to guard Jalen Waddle, and that's going to be a majority of your job today. So we're going to need to do it. And I do trust Spags to get most corners up to speed. I guess
Dave Merritt as well.
Yeah, and Dave
right?
Merritt and some of these, they've got a great reputation, and so I don't overly fear it. But at the same time, it's it's one of those okay, I'll keep a little note on that. I'd like to check back in a couple of weeks and see how he's looking then, and a couple of weeks after that and see how he's looking then. I'm not writing any part of my decision on whether or not he would start slow, could start slow, maybe already not living up to it because we talked about it. But he's just such an important player. I can't ignore it. I don't want to just not.
Yeah.
Not.
I'll have a completely different feel if we're 2 weeks, 3 weeks into the season and he doesn't look anywhere near a guy that was drafted 6th overall. That's when I'll get concerned. I really not putting much stock into what we've seen at all so far.
Yeah. It's just I don't know. It's interesting to see which kind of way it goes, but there's a lot of expectation on a guy like that. And it feels like right now the biggest compliments have been coming from either R. Mason Thomas or Peter Woods, which by the way,
the other corner out of Oregon too.
Candidate.
Yeah, I mean
he's been on the list.
Again, same thing. I don't want to overreact on the positive end either, but he has looked good. Let's see what happens when the pads are on for him and he's going up against better competition. And let's see, does he still stand out? Because we've all, whether we're watching a preseason telecast or you make your trip up to St. Joe, and we hopefully will see some of you guys up there as well over the next couple weeks. there's some players that are just obvious and they just stand out on a practice field. Some of them pop on a TV screen. Remember, Jaden Hicks 2 years ago was the player during preseason that was everywhere and was just so noticeable. There's certain players that just stand out.
Yeah, and he got regular playing time as a result of that. But other times, guys, this is why training camp is so tough. Other guys stand out and we know they don't matter. Like, I don't know how many times we've watched Justin Ross, the camp, how many times we've watched people shine in a training camp and then, okay.
Yeah.
Cool, I guess. But sometimes it actually means they're going to start. So it's like one of these ciphering between or trying to decipher between one thing or the other. It's tough.
And tomorrow when we're back up in St. Joe, we'll talk more about some of the position battles. Like what spot is actually up for grabs? We mentioned briefly yesterday the fourth receiver spot. I know it's further down the depth chart, but Nico Remigio, Cyrus Allen,
top
Jalen
three
Royals.
don't feel like a battle.
Defensive end, R. Mason Thomas, Ashton Gelati, rotation, or who could actually be the starter. We'll get into some of what true position battles actually exist. But in the meantime, let's get to all 32. We'll be doing this a couple times a week once we get back into the football season, but let's get it going right now. I'll let you start, Cody. Where are you going with your all 32?
I'm going to start with the Indianapolis Colts. I saw yesterday, obviously, that Daniel Jones had kind of done the media tour saying he feels 100% good. Achilles is fine. He's ready to start it. I got bad news. I think they are going to quickly and painfully realize all the mistakes, and by the end of this season, the Colts are going to completely clean house. For the first time in forever, mind you, they've tried to run out quarterback after quarterback and tried to change it. But this is going to be the front office clearing out. And by the time we get through week 8 of the season, the same way their season ended last year, they don't have the horses. What are they relying on? Just Jonathan Taylor to carry the entire offense? Alec Pierce, who had less than 50 catches to repeat a 1,000-yard season in-house? I don't see how it works. And for them, I really think that this is probably... They're going to wake up and realize everything they did last year to try to be competitive was worthless.
I think because the Colts got off to such a good start last year before it fell apart, the story with, Carly Ursay or whatever, the owner on the sidelines wearing the headset, is like, oh, this is a cool story. This year, it'll now be something that people just make fun of because she's still going to be in that role and the team's going to stink and you're going to have, I think, more reports coming out about if or not she's interfering with things as well. I think it could be an ugly year for the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah, I
because you know how that goes, right? When the team's winning and the owner's involved, it's like, oh, okay, great, sure, no problem. The minute they start losing, people are going to say, well, actually, yeah, the coaches can't stand the fact that she's wearing a headset on the sidelines, et cetera.
Exactly. And look, the truth is that their schedule stinks. He's going to have to get his head taken off twice a year against Houston. That's not going to be any fun. They have Baltimore and Pittsburgh. They have good defenses. Jags, Chiefs, Bengals. Like, their schedule is not a total nightmare, but it's not fun either. And so I just think last year it was already falling apart. And now they have to run the plan back that wasn't going to work even when Daniel Jones was healthy. I think it's just going to be a bad year. And whatever blessed start of the season they had last year is gone.
I'll go to the NFC North for a bit for mine because the Vikings, I think, could be the biggest surprise of the season. I'm a bit more of a believer in Kyler Murray than you are. I think you pair Murray with Kevin O'Connell, with Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison. I think that can work. Remember, last year, how many people realize they won 9 games last year despite having J.J. McCarthy start for a decent chunk and then that Max Brosmer kid or whatever that was awful? They were a complete disaster at quarterback, and somehow Kevin O'Connell got that team to 9 wins in the NFC North. I might end up picking them when we do our divisional previews to win the NFC North. They're certainly a team I'm keeping an eye on. I think they will surprise people. I think it's going to work with Kyler Murray. I'm not predicting them to go win a Super Bowl, but I think they will be a playoff team, and Kyler Murray will look very good with Kevin O'Connell and the weaponry that he has to work with there in Minnesota.
Genuinely might be one of the more impressive things they've done. The only thing that I could see derailing them is if anything they're saying public is true, in the sense that they're genuinely considering a quarterback competition between McCarthy and Kyler Murray. I don't believe that to be true.
McCarthy's not starting.
I'm just saying if they waste snaps on J.J. McCarthy, I think that could set him back a little bit. I don't know why you would at this point. J.J. McCarthy looks to be Josh Rosen-esque. He's awful. He can't play the sport at this point. He was hurt an entire year. He was even worse during times in that. I looked it up, 10 out of McCarthy, 5 out of Wentz. 2 starts out of Brosmer. And even, just outside of that, it's like awful. And he still somehow got them to 9 wins. Pretty impressive. They went 6-4 under McCarthy. And during those games, he had 1,600 yards, 11 touchdowns, and 12 picks. They won more games than they lost with J.J. McCarthy as the starter, which is saying something. I don't rule out the fact that they could have a playoff season. The offensive talent's undeniable on that team, isn't it?
Way too much talent on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah. JT, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm going to stick in the NFC. I'm going to go to the NFC West. I think the Cardinals won't be the worst team in the NFL this year. I know there's a lot of talk about how the Cardinals
They're like
could
the
be the
favorite,
worst.
aren't they?
Yeah, I actually think they could be the third worst. I think the Dolphins and Browns could be worse than them.
Good for them, you know? Third worst, huh?
I think Jacoby Brissett. I know Jacoby Brissett is
honestly,
great.
he's probably the best of the three quarterbacks, at least in a proven category.
And
Malik
then you
Willis.
also have what I think the best maybe wide receiver out of the three teams in Marvin Harris Jr. I mean, are we going to say Judy's better than Marvin Harris? Maybe. But, I mean, I think the Cardinals have the better team out of those three teams altogether, and I think the Cardinals won't finish, last in the NFL.
It's so hard because
That schedule is just brutal. The Cardinals have 6 games against the Rams, Seahawks,
that's why they're the
and
favorites
Niners,
with the worst record.
And they play the AFC West. I mean,
which is a team that had 2 playoff teams last year and the Chiefs.
Now, the Cardinals open up week 1 against the Chargers, and it would be such a Chargers thing to just lose in week 1 to the Cardinals. It would be perfection.
And it'd knock a bunch of people out of Survivor, which would be funny. I genuinely think Miami's going to be the worst team in the NFL because I think they are trying to lose in a lot of ways. Not in a way that, like Alex and we've talked about this. I don't think a coaching staff and players are trying to lose. I do think the front office made moves that suggested we're not really about this year. Other than they said, we'll pay the guys that we think are really good. We'll pay Brooks. We'll pay Achan. We're setting ourselves up for the guys that we think are good and will be on the team next year. But anybody who could have been good and on the team this year, they walked on. They let clean house, and they could have gone a number of ways at quarterback and went the Malik Willis route, although they paid him quite a bit of money. Unless they think that he's just like got the goods and secretly good. But also, like, isn't Cleveland in contention? I mean,
Sure they are.
God.
No, sure. They're going to start
Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson's probably starting week 1, and then most likely Shedeur Sanders will start at some point. I think similar quarterback thing, though, is you're mentioning Arizona. We all know Jacoby Brissett starting week 1. At some point this year, I bet you Gardner Minshew or Carson Beck start games for the Cardinals as well.
I mean, they just reworked the contract
That's
for
$15
Brissett.
million a year. That's nothing.
Yeah.
And not enough to where you're forced to start Brissett for
God.
16 or for 17 games.
They should do they don't have enough quarterbacks to do my Browns plan. But
No, they don't. They don't.
They need more guys in-house. You need more potential to do that. Or otherwise, it just doesn't work. The problem with the Cardinals is legitimately the division. The defending Super Bowl champions, the Rams, who spent their offseason, the Rams were the second best team in the NFL last year, maybe the best team in the NFL last year. The best 2 teams faced each other in the NFC title game. They went out like the Dodgers and added to what was already one of the best teams in the NFL, Myles Garrett and Trent McDuffie, and might get Aaron Donald back. So that feels like 2 losses. Seattle, 2 losses. Like, I just don't know how they get a win in the division. I'm not sure how they get a win against the AFC West unless it's against Denver. Like, their wins are just going to be hard to come by. That's all.
That's all 32 here on Cody and Gold. Don't forget our football coverage on 96.5 The Fan, presented by Xfinity. Score the most reliable Wi-Fi, one price, 5 years, guaranteed. Xfinity, imagine that.
Another deal in the NFL, by the way, while we were doing that. Brian O'Neill, the offensive tackle for the Vikings, just signed an extension. Yeah, apparently, everybody's getting there, like, guys are in-house, they're around training camp, and they just started locking them all up today. What do you think?
Yeah, there's a couple moves like that. Also, you've seen out of Tampa, not only the Baker Mayfield contract situation where they're done negotiating, but Vita Vea, veteran, longtime defensive tackle, wants out. He said he wants to be traded, and of course, in the betting markets, the Rams are the favorite to land Vita Vea. Now, that's just because they're signed, but think about that. They already have Myles Garrett. They're rumored to maybe get Aaron Donald to join them in the middle of the season. And then now they're at least favorites to possibly trade for Vita Vea, who's, I think, 32-year-old nose tag or defensive tackle.
Is it December? When did the Chiefs play the Rams?
I should know the date. December 3rd, I believe.
Okay. Yeah. I almost did mine on, I feel all 32 on. Ashton Genty's got to be on, like, official bust watch this year. Like, it goes bad for the first half of this year, I mean, it's starting to look bleak.
It will, but I still think we brought up the stat. The yard or what was it? The contact behind the line of scrimmage. He was touched behind the line of scrimmage more than any other running back in football.
You think Mendoza would help offset some of that? Just with slightly
Kirk Cousins
better
is going to be starting week 1, I think, though.
Have they said anything on that? Is there any buzz on that?
That's just my prediction. I think we've seen how this plays out a lot of times. The vet will start for a couple weeks.
When do the Chiefs play him? Because this, I'd much rather.
The Raiders. We're going out there. We think a week.
Oh, that's right.
Twice in 5 weeks.
4 or 5.
Vegas trip twice in 5 weeks. Week 4. Yeah, I think it's week 4. October 3rd, maybe something like that.
Just didn't know. Let's see. This is the Fernando Mendoza takes unique approach to quarterback battle.
Chiefs Raiders is October 4th, Sunday at 3:25 kickoff.
Do you think there's actually anything to if you're the number 1 overall pick? I just think you should start day 1. I think it is such a waste of time to start Kirk Cousins for 4 weeks. It serves no one.
I don't know if I agree with that. I know that's where you stand. A lot of people agree with you. I don't think there's a set time period. I don't think it has to be 4 weeks. I'm not saying that, but I do think there is some value, especially if you're a bad team and your offensive line stinks or whatever. There's some value of letting the player get settled in a little bit. I don't think it hurts. Not everybody needs to do the Chiefs, Alex Smith, Patrick Mahomes sit for a year strategy, and nobody really does that anymore. But also, I don't think it's an automatic, you're the first overall pick, got to start week 1. It really depends on the dynamics of the team. But I'm not dead set either way. You can talk me in either way. I think it was obvious once they signed Kirk Cousins that, in my opinion, that told me that Kirk Cousins will end up starting week 1. Because otherwise, I don't get the point of even signing Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, that's fair. Other than just to have a guy who would probably be willing
why would he
to
have signed?
Let him.
You know what I mean?
That's what I was thinking. Why would
he have signed? No, he's friends with Kubiak.
He also didn't have any other. He didn't have any other starting options.
He thinks it's the best chance for him to start games, I guess is what I'm saying. It's
but he might not.
And Clint Kubiak, who we all know is now the head coach out in Vegas, they were together in Minnesota a couple years ago. For multiple years. That's the connection, I believe, why he also chose him. So we'll see. That's just my prediction. The QB spots that might be up for grabs, I think Deshaun Watson will start week 1 for Cleveland, and I think Kirk will start week 1 for the Raiders, and neither will start all year.
Yeah. Oh, God. Well, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't count on any of those situations being permanent. I guess I'll assume Sanders. Sanders they'll probably give it to Deshaun. Sanders was pretty bad last year. And Todd Monken's going to want the vet quarterback, not just he has no allegiance to Dylan. You know who we're sure it's not? Is Dylan Gabriel. He's dead last in that quarterback ranking. What a waste of a 3rd-round pick that already feels like.
Up next, we'll get to the random question of the day that I'm sure will tick some people off based off of what I heard you're going to use for your random question. And a suggestion for players that should be traded next week.
What's up, KC? It's Carter Jensen. You're listening to Cody and Gold on your home for Royals baseball, 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. 96.5 The Fan.
What's up, guys? It's Drew. Well, this is the time of year. It's talking season. Top 10 lists, all that other stuff in the world of football in particular. As we get ready for the beginning of the season, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Blue Chew. When it comes to performance, good enough just isn't good enough, and that's exactly why Blue Chew just raised the bar for you. Introducing Blue Chew Gold, the revolutionary 4-in-1 upgrade that targets your brain and your body. It dissolves right under your tongue, starts working in as little as 15 minutes. That means for you fellas, there's not much waiting at all whatsoever. A whole new level of readiness, and there's more confidence as well that comes from that. This is the future of performance. Faster, smarter, and precision engineered for results. You can get started today at BlueChew.com and see why millions of men trust Blue Chew. Turbocharge your love life and make it easy to get hard with Blue Chew. Make life easier and discover your options at BlueChew.com. We got a special deal for you there. Get 10% off your first month of Blue Chew Gold with KFNZ. That's promo code KFNZ. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety info.
Fanatic Sportsbook makes every baseball game day this season hit harder. Swing for the fences with long ball jackpots. Just pick the player who hits the longest homer of the day to win a share of $50K in fan cash. every day brings a new shot to win. Customers also get baseball profit boosts every game day. And your bets earn you fan cash, win or lose. Strike three, yeah. To spend on merch, tickets, exclusive experiences, and more. Go deep this baseball season and download Fanatic Sportsbook today for the best baseball betting experience each and every game day. Fanatic Sportsbook. Winning hits different here. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-MyReset. CT call 888-789-7777. MA call 800-327-5050. NY call 877-8-HOPE-NY. MD visit mdgamblinghelp.org. Offer not available in all states. Terms apply. See Fanatic Sportsbook app.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years guaranteed? Now through August 24th, new Xfinity customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi this summer before it disappears. Just $50 a month for 5 years. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Plus, it keeps you protected from online threats. And get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at Xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
Kansas City is buzzing this summer, and the excitement keeps rolling into August at the Advent Health Championship, Kansas City's only professional golf tournament, August 20th through 23rd at Blue Hills Country Club. Watch the next generation of PGA Tour stars compete for their shot at the big stage. Follow your favorite player, enjoy the action from greenside, or upgrade to an all-inclusive hospitality experience. With tickets starting at just $10, there's something for everyone. Keep your summer going. Get your tickets today at AdventHealthChampionship.com.
The Royals and the See You in the Major Leagues Foundation are teaming up with Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City to recognize outstanding high school sports coaches through the Blue KC Coaches with Character program. From April to September, we'll recognize 6 coaches as a Blue KC Coach with Character. Each honoree will receive a VIP package that includes tickets to a Royals game and more. Be part of honoring our high school coaches whose service is making Kansas City a better place to live, work, and play. Just go to bluekc.com/nominate coaches with character to nominate today.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/team. That's ZipRecruiter.com/team.
ZipRecruiter. Hey, it's Brew, and I feel like everything in my life depends on being connected. Whether I'm uploading a video, hopping on a call before my show, or video chatting with my family back in Michigan, I never have to think about my Wi-Fi. And that's why Xfinity stands out. You get the most reliable, fiber-powered Wi-Fi with the best equipment at one price for 5 years guaranteed. No contracts or commitments. Plus, you can get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Use of fiber or coaxial cable. Learn more at Xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi. Xfinity, imagine that.
Did you hear? Allstate car insurance now costs even less. So when you bundle with home, you can save even more. Check Allstate first to bundle and save with a new lower auto rate. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings may vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
I scream. You scream. We all scream. Because Wendy's famous small classic Frosty is just $1 for a limited time. More screaming, happy screaming, summer screaming, dollar small classic Frosty screaming! But please don't scream in the drive-thru. It hurts the employees' ears. Get a $1 small classic Frosty for a limited time, only at Wendy's.
U.S. price and participation may vary. A la carte only, not valid for delivery. Limit 10 per transaction. Price may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
We'll get to the random question of the day here in about 8 minutes or so. It's Cody and Gold, Alex Gold, Cody Tap, JT Noah producing the show today. Someone said, Dylan Gabriel, way better quarterback than Shedeur. Watson will start all season unless he gets hurt. It's possible. It's possible. I'm not convinced Dylan Gabriel, though, is way better than Shedeur. The last part, I think, is possible. Watson starting all season.
Yeah, did you see the
But
clip?
Dylan Gabriel, I don't think he's better than Shedeur. I think they both stink, honestly. But
Did you see the clip of Jerry Jeudy on Instagram Live? Someone
I did
was
not.
asking him who he wants to start quarterback, and he put up the 4 fingers.
For Deshaun?
Yeah, so everyone took that.
I do think Deshaun will start week 1.
You know what? They'll finally get some starts out of the worst transaction in NFL history.
Yeah.
I always that one's always really funny. Not funny because of all the awful things that happened. But sometimes you trade for a player and things go south because they get in trouble or they get hurt or you don't know the kind of stuff they're into. They knew exactly who they were trading for when they traded for him. And Deshaun wasn't even coming off a good year. He was coming off playing no football and playing not very good football before they traded for him. So it's not like he was coming in with 50 touchdowns and 5,000 yards, playing his best, clean as a whistle.
Yeah.
They knew about all the problems and still did it.
Before we get to random question of the day, let's talk Royals briefly as the trade deadline is about 6 days away. It's in the afternoon coming up on Monday. We all know what I thought were names that everybody recognized given their contract status or just who they have been. Look, you're in a year where your team has 40-something wins about to get to the calendar to turn to the month of August. You need to move on those guys. So I thought that everybody just understood trading Lane Thomas is an obvious thing. Probably trading somebody like Nick Lofton unless you have other plans for other pieces.
Yeah.
Daniel Lynch, I don't know if his value is going to be any higher. Michael Walker, that one, a lot of people want to trade him, but I understand at least the conversation around Michael Walker because, as we've brought up, what are you in 2027? What's your rotation like if you don't have Walker? While also knowing that he could bring you back more than anybody else, most likely that you're willing to trade. But I at least understand some pushback on trading Walker. How is there pushback in suggestions out there that the Royals should keep Lane Thomas for what? For August, in September? For what? His contract's done at the end of the year. If you really like him that much, you can bring him back in the offseason if you really thought you need him. I don't get how anybody is trying to make the case not to trade a Lane Thomas, not to trade a Daniel Lynch, not to trade anybody else that has expiring contracts.
There have been people making the argument for Lofton, Massey, Lane Thomas, about keeping them. The argument for Lane Thomas is he's played well and you brought him in.
So?
Should you just be giving him an extension? And I thought we had the conversation about running it back and how this year's team has not performed at a level that would negotiate. Now, look, I told you the stats don't show much success, odds of success on making trades away from teams and then getting them back. But if somebody wants Daniel Lynch or John Schreiber or Lane Thomas, you have to trade everybody, and that's the difference. But no one is untradeable out of the people we just mentioned, including Michael Massey, who's having a career year, Nick Lofton, who's having a career year. I understand why those names will be appealing to some teams, and you have to at least pick up the call. They're never going to go, and this is the part I've already accepted, they're never going full fire sale, or that would have already started. Genuinely would have already started. But with Michael Garcia and Kyle Isbell coming back, and I'll be honest, at least Garcia is going to, if he's not on your team next year, well, then you should take calls on him too. Now, I will tell you, or in the offseason, but the truth is that I think that those guys are actual members of next year's team. I can't be sure about the others. Michael Massey got 2 years of arbitration left, so he's got time. Nick Lofton too. So it's not like you have to, those guys can be around, but they were on your team this year and it didn't help you win. And it's not their fault. They've played well. But you have to make these moves in order to strengthen because they have to be looking short and long term. That's what's hard about the Royals. They got to figure out a way how they can try to win next year, but they also have to make moves like guys like Nick Lofton for guys in AA to try to strengthen the entire system so that maybe we don't have to have years like this ever again. Has always been the thing I have been begging for the Royals organization to be for years. But you and I were both surprised when we start seeing artists be like, maybe you should hold on to Lane Thomas. No, trade him. And then when he's a free agent, convince him to come back. And if it needs to be a 2-year deal this time, or don't, and get somebody different. Find the next Lane Thomas is how sometimes I think I would view it versus the way they have been doing it. Because if they bring back 95% of the roster goal, how can you and I have any confidence it's going to be good?
I mean, at the end of last season, and I get it, some guys' injuries are more predictable than others, but there were certain players that had career-type seasons, awesome years a year ago. They were banking on that happening again, and everybody that had bad seasons having really good seasons. And that's a terrible thought process. You can't do it 2 years in a row.
Because then all these players having good seasons are going to have good seasons again, and the bad ones have good seasons.
Yeah, like you can't bank on next year that guaranteed Vinny's going to be healthy and have a great year. You can't bank on Michael Garcia being more like he was in 2025 than what he was in 2026. You can't do that. And certainly we already know that no matter what, the bullpen is an automatic going to have to look completely different next year. The rotation automatically is going to look different next year. Even if you don't trade Michael Wacha, it's just going to look different. You got questions around multiple pieces in that rotation. Cole Reagans is not going to be available maybe for most of next year. And even when he comes back, he's probably a bullpen guy for you moving forward.
Yeah. And I mean, and that's just the reality of where they are. They need so much help on next year's roster. I know it's tough. And I don't think they should fire sell. I don't think they should just sell everybody. I really don't. And I do think that it would be reasonable to assume that Vinny will be significantly better for your team next year and Michael Garcia will be better for your team, or at least one of those two things will happen, or you'll have more health than you had this year. But I think they need to go back and remember the first couple of months, maybe it was a month only, I don't know, when they had most of the team healthy. Not all, but enough of the team healthy. And realize that the bullpen stunk, healthy or not. Carlos Estevez could have been last year's Carlos Estevez. The bullpen wasn't going to be good. It'd have been better with last year's Carlos Estevez, but they had problems, real problems there. And they didn't have enough offense again. And they didn't have enough starting pitching again, even though they were deep there and the injuries got them maybe there more than anywhere else. But if you're just saying, like, I would definitely stop counting on Cole Reagans and Chris Bubich being healthy. When's the last time that happened? Like, sometimes, like, the injury thing is one, and that's what scares me about, like, a guy like Massey, who we love and has been a very good friend of the show. And I'm really happy that he's having such a great season. But this is the healthiest he's ever been by a lot. So, like, do you think it'll happen again? And then, and that, look, in fairness, there is a question part of that you and I can't answer, which is the medical staff might actually think they unlocked something in the health department there.
Yeah, possible.
And if they think that, that's a very different conversation. If they actually got a handle on it, that's what I felt about Vinny for the first time when his shoulder stuff. When they had the surgery and then the shoulder stuff wasn't a problem anymore, and I was like, oh, they got a handle on the shoulder stuff. That's a little bit different. I just had a different problem this year. He ended up having the hamate bone break. That's different. But it's like, I could see, like, if they just think the back stuff's behind him, well, then we're having a different conversation about, a call I'm taking. Because I don't have an answer. You can't feel right. You can't feel left field, center, second, two starting pitching jobs.
This is why the organization's in a really, really brutal spot, because you can't run it back. But also, are you really going to have an offseason where you once again replicate what you did 3 or 4 years ago, where you nailed it and you got Lugo and you got Wacha? Who are those two names again that you can replicate and find that? That's the task for JJ Piccolo. Is there another trade to be made where you flip someone and you find another top of the line starter, what they did in Cole Reagans with the Chapman trade? That's a big ask, but that's kind of where they're at. Or you have to throw a bunch of money at it. And I don't know if that's going to actually happen. And that's not me saying that they're being cheap. In fact, they're 19th in payroll. So while we always will want the owner to spend more money, why not? It's not my money. That's not been the problem. But to fix the problem, it might have to be the solution.
The other option, and this doesn't mean it has to happen, but the other option is even though they don't have depth there, you say, we are serious about winning, and we're going to maintain our serious around winning with Bobby Witt Jr., and you trade away a guy that would hurt in the minor leagues. You trade away someone.
I think you have to pair him up with a big leaguer. That goes the Blake Mitchell paired with Vinny, the Blake Mitchell paired with whoever.
Or the David Shields paired with, and you have to make, the only guy untradeable in the minor league system right now is Churio. I wouldn't do anything with that. He currently got ranked as one of the top 15 players in all of minor league baseball over the last 2 weeks. He is the youngest player in all of A-ball, and his back-to-back games are a no-hitter and a game in which he gave up 3 hits and 1 run. So not real interested in him, but anybody else I would certainly entertain. But like, it's that or you got to make a difficult decision, a hard one, which the Royals typically don't love doing, but it's in line with the, I always go back to when they, right around the time they were going to the World Series and they gave up their number 1 prospect in order to get James Shields. They're going to have to make that kind of move, and their best prospects, unfortunately, are all kids, and you don't know where they're going to show up, and they're not close to AAA. So, like, that might change it, but, yeah, maybe it is Blake Mitchell or a million other guys. Either way, the decisions are tough.
Random question.
For you, Gold, for you, JT, the text line, 913-586-7965. Of course, over on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook. That's where we live stream the show. You can see us on video. Alex is wearing the Cody and Gold shirt. Someone asked if they could get that. It's actually up on the Breaking T website. If somebody wanted to get a Cody and Gold
It is for sale. Way
t-shirt.
back when we first started the show, we handed them out.
Alex and I paid our own money to print out like 500 of them.
That supply is long gone, years and years and years ago. Although I'm not against at some point us getting some more shirts. But these shirts we did when we first started the show. You and I did actually go out and buy a bunch of T-shirts. I have like 3 of these, but my only 3 that I have. And
yeah, I have several. They don't get worn a lot because I'm always worried they're going to like slowly disintegrate. I think I got one. I think I got 2 smalls stashed for my kids when maybe they're old enough. Force them to try to promote the show at school.
Yeah.
If they're willing to, They're not impressed by my job in any capacity. So we'll see how that goes. The random question I have today, though, is thanks to Dan Orlovsky, who's on his show today, adamant about something. I'm going to play the clip, and then I'll ask the question after.
Question.
You
never get a pedicure?
I have never gotten a pedicure.
Oh, it's a delight.
I never will.
Yeah, no,
I am completely against pedicures for dudes.
Why? What for?
You're a dude. You're not supposed to get pedicures.
Yes, you are. Nothing wrong with being pampered. Oh, it's a delight.
No. I'm so against this. This is a thing for me.
You're coming with me.
Dudes should not be getting pedicures.
Who am I told is laughing at this? Monica Jay Will? Can we put them up there?
Feel good.
Jay Will?
Just nasty feet, Dan. Just nasty feet.
My feet are awful. I totally agree, but I'd rather have awful feet than get pedicures.
Oh, come on. They scrape the terrible skin.
You're also not the person who should be having an opinion
I
on
love
this.
a pedicure. Are you kidding? It feels fantastic. I totally agree.
I've got my friends taking their teenage sons to get them.
Yeah, I think it's an excellent idea.
What?
Yes, and you should join them. And I've just got a text here from your wife who says, yes, I think, Dan, Greeny, talk him into it.
Trust me.
I'm talking you into this.
No.
I know where we're going after this question.
So the question I have for you is, do you think Dan Orlovsky is right, or do you think Dan Orlovsky is wrong?
So I think he's very much hung up on I'm a
dude. I'm manlier than you.
He's very hung up on making sure he sounds manly. I'll give you that. Now, I have never gotten a pedicure in large part. I think if you went with your wife or whatever, it makes more sense than me by myself just going and getting one.
Why? What's the difference?
I just think just by myself to me, that's weird. Now, if you have a wife, a girlfriend or whatever, or you're going with a group of friends or whatever, I think that makes sense. But have you got one?
I don't think so. I've been there, but it's not something I'm anti. It's just like
I feel like it would feel amazing.
I'm bad at the paying for I have a hard time. I've never had a massage either. It's not so much. It's just I was like $100. It's part of me is just do I want to? It's more about the money or do I want to spend it? Then I'd go in a second. Someone's got a pedicure for me. I don't care. I'd go by myself.
If your feet are, if your feet are just nasty, then you do something about that.
That's the other thing. He's got troll feet, and the guy won't get him taken care of.
Plenty of athletes, and that's what's funny. How Orlovsky said he's never had one. Athletes, especially basketball players, whatever, they get them multiple times throughout a season. I'm surprised you haven't actually had.
Someone says men aren't supposed to have pretty feet. Why? What's the difference?
Also, it's not about having, by the way, I don't think people get, it's not about having pretty feet. They're not doing nail polish on the dudes.
They can,
but that's not what, guys are not getting guys aren't getting nail polish on their feet. They're getting it to get the dead skin and the calluses and other crap cleared off. I don't know. I've never got one. Kind of want to at some point.
Yeah.
What about you,
Cody,
JT?
Drew, and Alex.
Yeah, so
let's go get the media content. We'll go get a mani pedi.
So I'm not going to judge people for getting pedicures, but I'm an anti-feet person.
What does that mean?
Like on a scale of
have feet. What do you mean anti-feet?
Yeah,
like you don't want anybody's feet out?
On a scale of Rex Ryan foot fetish and just normal, where are you?
And like you're disgusted by them.
I'm disgusted by feet. Like I got sick one time because a girl put her feet on me and I puked everywhere.
So you what?
Wait, did you hold on? You actually puked or like you felt like you were gonna puke?
No, I puked on her in high school. We were hanging out.
How nasty were her feet?
And I just
gross
don't,
or just feet?
I just don't like feet. Like I don't take off my shoes or socks until I'm in my bed. And if I take off my shoes, I have my slippers right by the door so I can put them on. My feet.
Wait, what? So your feet just are never out unless you're in what, like a shower?
Yeah, shower's the only time they're out because I actually have swim shoes that I wear to the pool and everything.
JT, I don't judge a lot of people for a lot of things. I'm just gonna say right now. How old are you?
I'm 25.
You were too old to be wearing swim shoes.
Okay,
at the pool.
don't come at me like my fiance
You're
does.
25.
You can't be wearing swim shoes.
You're 25.
Come on.
You're engaged. So if you went to the ocean. So Drew's at the ocean. You're filling in for him. He's at not Gulf Shores. Where's he at?
Outer Banks.
Outer Banks. Thank you. He's at Outer Banks. You're in the sand. You're not walking on the sand barefoot. You're not stepping into the ocean barefoot. You have swim shoes on.
Yeah.
How bad are your feet? Let's establish that now. Drew's like on the opposite end of Rex Ryan. His foot freakiness is a whole different kind.
My mom, we went to Hawaii for my graduation for college. She cut off the bottom of our feet because my swim shoes were on during all their feet, our beach photos. And she was like, I cannot believe you're wearing
So this is like a lifetime.
Do you think they're comfortable, or are you just? Is it truly a comfort thing? You're worried you're going to cut open your foot, or are you like? I guess are you embarrassed by your feet?
It sounds like it's a visceral reaction to feet. He hates feet.
I just don't like feet. I don't know if it's because I don't.
Not like that's way not strong enough based on the reactions you're having. You hate feet.
Yeah, I just. Feet are weird.
So that's not JT's kink. We don't kink shame on this show.
My dad's like, well, what if your fiance wants a foot rub? I'll pay for her to go get a foot rub. She's not getting one for me.
Wow, this is okay. So, yeah, this is mind-boggling to me.
Dan Orlovsky's wrong, by the way.
I think so. Now,
I'm
look
too
at the
tough
text.
of a man.
Someone says, I'm a dude, have had a couple of pedicures in 56 years, not about it all the time. I get massages on the monthly. Someone else says, I'm 53, old, grown man, and get a pedicure every month. All feet are nasty. Get a pedicure. Someone said, who's this weirdo producing with the fear of feet? Someone says, who are you getting a pedicure for? Again, I think some people get it it's not that, again, I think if you're someone that's an athlete, you're getting it because it actually helps maintain your feet for your
it's important.
It's
like any other self-care. LeBron probably gets regular pedicures.
I don't think not everybody's getting it because they want it to be painted pink and look pretty. That's not like if you're a woman, sure. I don't think dudes are getting their nail painted or their toes painted. They're getting it to get the dead skin and crap off their toes.
But it doesn't matter either. Like Orlovsky's wrong no matter which way it is. Most of the time. And by the way, somebody on the text line, JT, now wants to know how much money would it take you for a whole Binks foot?
Oh my! Oh no! Nope, not a chance. No,
dude, you'd have to pay me too.
For
no
1 minute.
Chance.
1 minute, Binks foot, $1 million. JT.
Oh, $1 million. $1 million.
10,000.
You do it for $100.
No, I wouldn't.
I would do it for $100. I'm asking
you wouldn't do it for $100.
No,
the lowest point I would go.
JT's not doing it for $100. I think it's got to be 4 or 5 figures for him. It's
man.
The lowest I would go would be $750.
Do you have? By the way, how many toes do you have, JT?
I have 10.
You have all of them intact?
Yes.
Are they like that's?
How hairy are your feet? No one gets to see them but you. So only you can describe
hairy.
Yeah.
My fiance says I'm not hairy at all. So.
Okay, so not hairy feet.
Okay.
Are they misshapen?
Sure. I don't.
Let's get JT and OnlyFans for feet, just for him because
I feel like my feet are normal. I mean, I don't know if there's anything wrong.
It sounds like your wife doesn't even see your feet.
I try not to have her see them. No.
Someone says the only way you should get it is if you have ingrown toenails. Well, that means you weren't maintaining. That means you weren't taking care of your.
Some people are a little more prone to them, but yeah, that means you're not taking care of them.
Yeah, the first time we went on a vacation, just me and my fiance, and I whipped out the swim shoes, I thought she was about to freak out.
So do you sleep with socks on?
When my feet are cold, yes, but I'll get into bed and then I'll take them off.
There's no circumstance in which I will sleep with socks.
Yeah, I can't fall asleep with socks on usually. It feels weird.
That ain't
gonna happen. It feels kind of weird.
Like when I was with my guys on the bachelor party, they were talking to me about like shoes, and I was telling them all these stories, and like, there's no way you wear shoes to this. I'm like, yeah, I do. I mean, I've fallen asleep with shoes on. I mean, I've done all these things with shoes on. I mean,
JT's floors are nasty as hell. Just dragging his shoes everywhere in the house. And we're not like shoes off at the front door no matter what. But.
Thanks, Flynn. Someone says, JT, do you have sex with your shoes on?
Well, my buds can answer.
Wait. So follow. Yeah, hold on. Wait. If your feet accidentally touch, is that a problem?
Listen, when me and the lady do our thing,
I have some questions.
The socks are on her, unless
socks on.
If my shoes are on. My shoes are on. Her socks are on. I cannot have my shoes off.
What?
Hold on. Shoes
Are you telling me
off?
you have sex
Hold
with
on.
shoes
Hold on. I don't want to picture this too much, but you're in bed and your shoes are still on when you're having sex.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
What? And you found the right woman because I can't believe she tolerates this.
Oh, my goodness.
Every time?
Oh, yeah. Oh, 90. If the shoes aren't on, the slippers are on.
Slippers? This is no good. Man, JT hates feet. Sex with shoes on is like regularly. It's crazy.
All right. Whew. That's the random question of
I
the
didn't
day.
think the random question today was going to go this direction.
All right.
I'm getting told to seek help.
I mean, dude, you're having shoes on while you're having sex.
At the very
What are you
least,
doing?
I would at the very least speak to someone about it. A professional. Just see if they, maybe there was something traumatizing when you were 5 and you don't remember.
I mean, I can't get over this.
You talk about it's an insane visual for anybody. But the idea that he's just in he's got on his Nike high socks and his tennis shoes. You're like, wait, what? How does this? I mean, here's and you don't have to answer JT because you got to go to break. Here's what I don't understand is how the hell does anybody get past it? How does anybody bring this up the first time? When you've been with someone for 20 years, whatever, people might figure out, but that part gets me.
Up next, we're going to get to the 1 o'clock hour. I'm going to try to regroup a little bit. Let's talk about a podcast series around Shohei Ohtani and whether or not we're actually buying this interpreter story even more now.
Cody and Gold, brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. Follow the station on Instagram for ticket giveaways and behind-the-scenes content from the show at The Fan 965.
Hi, I'm Mitch Holtis, voice of the Chiefs. Be a part of history by attending Chiefs training camp in St. Joseph, Missouri this summer. See the Chiefs and make a St. Joe memory. Whether it's touring one of the many museums, staying in a historic home turned bed and breakfast, experiencing quality dining or brewery options, hitting the River Bluff bike trails, or supporting a vibrant art scene, St. Joseph has something for everyone. Go to stjomo.com to view or download a free visitor guide and plan your trip. Produced in cooperation with Visit Missouri.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this rush hour ad to keep you calm, which could help your driving. And science says therapy is great for a healthy mindset. So enjoy this 14-second session on us. I think you've done everything right and absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, anything that hasn't gone your way could probably be blamed on your father, not being emotionally available because his father wasn't emotionally available, and so on. And now that you're calm and healing, you're probably driving better too.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
$30 million in guaranteed prizes you can cash in this football season out in Las Vegas with 3 Circa Sports contests. Entries starting at $1,000, all with zero rake. Circa Million, 18 weeks of point spread action, 128 ways to win. Or Circa Survivor. You pick one winner each week, the last one standing wins. And Circa Grandissimo with a $100,000 entry. Enter in Nevada. Play from anywhere. $30 million guaranteed. Visit circasports.com for details.
Bubba Wallace here from 2311 Racing. You know what's slower than a pace car? Waiting at the car wash. That's when I fire up Chumba Casino. It turns those slow minutes into fast fun. With new games every week, you'll never get bored. Next time you're stuck in the slow lane, speed up with Chumba. Play now at ChumbaCasino.com. Let's Chumba.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, Mom. Now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, rock star. Let's look at your account. When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything. Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WEB-NOW-1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Did you hear? Allstate car insurance now costs even less. So when you bundle with home, you can save even more. Check Allstate first to bundle and save with a new lower auto rate. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings may vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Go to 965thefan.com for your chance to win Kansas City Chiefs scratch tickets, plus a chance for the grand prize Chiefs bundle, which includes a framed jersey and a signed photo. All thanks to our friends at the Kansas Lottery. Tune in to Cody and Gold starting at 10 as they broadcast live from Chiefs training camp with exclusive one-on-one interviews and real-time updates from practice. This is your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
All right, 1 o'clock hour here on Cody and Gold. Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, JT Noah
has special sex shoes
producing for Drew. I mean, I'll say this: you're filling in for Drew because there's always Drew seems to also at times have some stuff that shocks the audience.
Yes.
And today this is an all timer. During the random question of the day, Cody played a cut from Dan Orlovsky, where Dan Orlovsky was saying that hey, he's a man, he doesn't get pedicures, whatever. Okay. So we had that conversation. That parlayed us into JT saying he wears swim shoes. And we were like, well, that's surprising when you go to the pool and in the ocean. Okay, that's a little bit different. And then the text line was wondering, and I asked the question to JT if he wears shoes while having sex. And he said, yeah. And he says in response to people on the text line, quote, I have a special pair of shoes for everything. It gets weirder and weirder. You're right in the corner just shining up your shoes before you have sex?
JT, I think the part about this is I don't think this is a kink for you, but it's weirder than most kinks.
Yeah, I don't consider it a kink.
How are you taking your clothes off? You're just clothes is down to the ankles? How are you getting them over the shoes?
Well, usually the shoes are pretty easy to navigate because the holes are pretty big to get around.
Oh, so it's like you wear a wide leg pant? Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, usually, yeah. Mostly,
athletic
wear. I don't wear jeans. I don't wear any of those tight pants, so they're easy to get off around the shoe.
It's insane. It's crazy. I feel like it's crazy. I have a fine line because this show has a very firm stance of not shaming people for their bedroom activities. We've held that firm for years. This might break me, Gold. This might be the end of it.
Oh,
her family, her parents' faces when I whipped out the swim shoes for the first time was quite the image. I was like, they're like, you wear swim shoes? It's like, yeah. You don't know what's in this water.
I don't know anybody who wears swim shoes. Like, I bought them for my kid once, they won't put them on.
Someone says he's taking wearing protection to a whole different level.
Yeah, do you wear, like, flip-flops in the shower?
I don't wear any open-closed no open-closed toe shoes. All closed.
All closed-toed shoe.
Yep.
Doesn't own an open-toed shoe.
No. The only one I almost got close to buying would have been the Crocs, but I would have wore socks with them because there would have been sunlight.
Man. At least he's not wearing the shoes he wears outside the house in the...
Yeah, no.
Because otherwise, I mean, nothing be clean. Just like sheets, blankets, everything's dirty.
That would be weird if I wore the same shoes I wore out.
That's the part that would be weird. That's fine. No, I got it. You can't be wearing you'd have to keep very clean shoes. Do you keep clean shoes at least?
Yo, yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
I got in trouble once because I got one of my pair of shoes dirty at my parents' house and I threw them in the washer at like midnight and it woke my mom up and she's like, what are you doing? I was like, my shoes got dirty. I got to clean them. She's like, are you serious at 1 a.m? Yes.
TT might have the softest feet on the planet though. They've never touched the earth. Covered in a sock and a shoe his whole
Or
life.
there's some fungus growing in there because it's never his feet can't breathe.
One of the two. I don't know.
Feet are never breathing.
Hey, they breathe for the 8 hours I sleep.
Okay. All right, let's move on. Otherwise, this
could be the whole last hour of the show.
It could be.
We'll bring it back up later.
Wow. That's a look. You guys, you think stuff is planned on this show? We plan out segments, but you never. What's crazy? We never know where the conversation's going to go. And I certainly did not expect when I woke up this morning to think that at 1:00 today, I'd be hearing that our producer filling in today, JT, wears shoes while having sex, and it just explained why. Okay, all right. We do need to get your fiance on the show at some point.
She come in for okay. You guys can come in for a fan.
I need to ask her. Like, was this the first?
She's an open book.
Yeah. Like, is this the first? Like, what was her true initial thought the first time she realized you like wearing shoes while having sex?
All I know is that woman loves you.
Yeah.
Like that, the only thing I'm very confident about in this whole conversation is that woman loves JT. Because if she didn't, I don't think she'd be able to look past this one. I think it'd be a tough one to look past.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to something else. So ESPN today has come out with their first 2 episodes of this podcast series they're doing around the Shohei Ohtani gambling/money transfer scandal. It's a new podcast with Tisha Thompson, and she broke the story back in 2024. And it's a 6-part podcast called The Betrayal of Shohei Ohtani. And they're going to have new episodes every Tuesday and Thursday, all the way up until August the 11th. So we only have 2 episodes today, but this is about the friendship collapse. Remember Ohtani, his interpreter, Ipe, he claims, and through the investigation, it was found that the interpreter was the one making all these wagers. Now, people are very skeptical still about it. Here is the clip that was released today, and it's pretty fascinating to hear the reporter, Tisha Thompson, talk about it.
And I learned there is a paper trail that connects Shohei Ohtani to Matt Boyer. And I've tracked down a source who has that proof. But they're nervous, and it takes weeks before the source agrees to show it to me. And they're not going to make it easy. It's the middle of the night. I'm driving to meet my contact. I find them standing outside of a car in a parking lot waiting for me. I drop into the passenger seat. The contact hands me a cell phone and tells me the proof I want will appear on an encrypted app, and each image will disappear in 30 seconds. I can't take pictures, but I can take notes. I pull out my notebook, and I tell my contact, I'm ready. A document appears on the screen, September 14th, 2023, $500,000. I spot the word loan and scribble it down in my notebook, but I don't have time to ask questions because the second document appears, October 2nd, 2023, $500,000. Both documents include the same long list of numbers on the screen. Later, after I drive away, I will stare at the jumble of letters and numbers I scribbled into my notebook, and I'll realize it's routing information. I just saw wire transfers from a bank account at Bank of America, and there's a name attached to the account, Shohei Ohtani. According to the screenshots I just saw, Shohei Ohtani's bank account sent wire transfers to Matt Boyer's illegal bookmaking operation. I saw 2 of them, totaling $1 million. I've got it. The direct link between Shohei and the bookie's operation. But before I can even begin to wrap my head around what I've seen, a source reaches out with new information and a new name. Ippei Mizuhara, Shohei's interpreter for the past 6 years. The source tells me Ippei is prepared to say he was the one gambling and that Shohei was paying his debts.
So that's a clip from this new podcast series. And even when the initial story came out, everybody at one point thought, well, that's way convenient that Shohei Ohtani's name is linked to sending this money to this illegal bookmaking operation. And then once it's pretty close to being known that hey, everybody's going to find out about this, suddenly the translator is now the one that was doing the betting, right? That's why people are very skeptical still about the whole situation. I told you, I don't think Ohtani was making all these bets. However, I also don't think he was completely clueless in the entire thing. And the bookmaker, Matt Boyer, who she mentions there, was actually just on another podcast today. And a listener actually filled me in on the link to it because it's someone you and I have met when we've been out in Las Vegas, not Matt Boyer, but the host of the show. And the bookmaker claims in this interview he didn't think Ohtani was involved in the betting. He suggested that over 90% of Ippei, the translator's bets, were on soccer, and he was the worst bettor he's ever seen. Remember, he lost $41 million.
He had
$41 million.
I know that he had said, like, as a part of it, the reason why, when he realized he wasn't making the bets, Matthew Boyer, or whatever it is, he had said that he saw a bet come in from Shohei's account while Shohei Ohtani was on the map.
That's how he's saying, yeah.
And so, like, yeah, I get that part. But I genuinely think the part of it that is sketchy is the aftermath in the sense that he probably was being robbed by Ippei. I don't know how he didn't notice the cash sooner, but I think once he noticed, he didn't immediately get law enforcement involved. And what I'm guessing happened is Shohei tried to cover it because he knows this is bad. My name is on bets. That looks bad. Even if I didn't do it, it looks bad. How do I make this go away before people find out? How do I make this disappear before it? I think some of that stuff went down, and that's why Major League Baseball brushed it away really fast, and the investigation from them was very short, even though, and I know they can be like, well, we'll just let the law enforcement handle that. That's not always how it goes. That's not always, like, usually these leagues do their own investigation, especially to a star player. I think he must have known something. But in listening to this, I'm not sure I don't think he's making the bets, or at least that's not.
I don't think so either. I just wonder at any
or did
point,
he know that Ippei was making love to gamble, made bets,
right? Or at any point did Shohei have him make a single bet? Now, even Ippei reportedly was never betting on baseball. Like that's been confirmed,
which is important.
Which is important if you even thought somehow Shohei was doing it. There's a big difference between betting on baseball and betting on soccer. But it all sounds like this guy was a terrible gambler.
How could you be this bad at it?
The part that I still can't, other than what you said, which is the illegal bookmaker, he was allowing these bets to happen on credit or whatever, because that's how the bookie operation part works. Initially,
when you're an illegal bookmaker, you don't necessarily.
Yeah, you can't bet on credit in an illegal sphere. But if you're in the illegal side of it, this bookmaker would never have granted just Ippei, the translator, all this money to make the bets. He thought that Ohtani was behind the money because the bank transfers were from Ohtani's bank account. So that's the part that is still a little weird. This bookmaker thought that Ohtani and knew Ohtani was somehow, he believed, involved because
it had his name all over.
Otherwise, why would they have allowed the credit to be as high as it was?
Look, and
before some of the payments were necessary.
I guess
like they don't let if you had an illegal bookie, right? They might get you a $500 or $1,000 a month balance without checking out who you are.
But if you're Shohei Ohtani,
they're not opening up $100,000 to you randomly, Cody.
And it said he stole, I think it was like $16 or $17 million. And look, if they think you're actually Shohei Ohtani, they're probably doing. And in fairness, federal investigators reviewed 40,000, I think, or whatever it was, or 30,000. It was a bunch of text messages. And in those, for the most part, Ippei made it seem like he didn't know about it. But there is a part of me, it's like, how the hell did you not know that $17 million was being stolen from you? And that's why this podcast is going to be interesting. It's going to be really fascinating. And like,
And baseball has every reason, baseball would have every reason to try to protect Ohtani.
Oh,
every reason possible.
He's one of the best baseball players who's ever lived.
But law enforcement also, and I think the district attorney's office or whoever was involved, I can't remember the initial, how it all went down back in 2024, they found that there was enough evidence to not suggest that Ohtani was the one doing the bets. So
it's really
unless you think they were involved in it as well, then that's my biggest pushback for those that think MLB is only covering for Ohtani. Because then where's the FBI coming to this or law enforcement? Why would they?
What would
they
you
don't
have
care.
to offer to convince him to take 57 is the exact amount, 57 months in jail? And it's not you can never it's so funny you have to pay back. You can't pay back. If I'm Shohei, it's like. You robbed me, and there's nothing I can do. You're not getting $17 million back from this guy. What job can he have?
Someone said, at bare minimum, what's the punishment for using an illegal bookie? Not much if you're just the customer. It's a bigger deal if you're the one running the bookmaking operation. If you're just in random
you're
guy,
not paying taxes,
in Kansas or whatever, and you have an illegal bookie, it's. I think it might even be like a misdemeanor or something. But to Cody's point, the bigger problem could be if you were thousands and thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars in back taxes or not reporting taxes.
And people who it turns out, run an illegal bookmaking operation don't claim taxes because that would hypothetically out your illegal bookmaking operation.
Were you laundering money? Was there fraud, tax evasion? That's what gets you more in trouble than the actual using the illegal book.
To make the bookmaking operation, you essentially have to commit a bunch of crimes just to keep the thing going. You have to, like you said, not pay your taxes. You have to evade taxes. There's a million other things to go with it, right? Or you have to commit crimes to hide your source of income from other people. And it's just a bunch of different stuff. So he claims, Ipe from the very beginning has sworn, he said, on my life, he never made a single sports bet in his life. But that's why the podcast is fascinating for a variety of reasons. But one of them is just being like, how the hell does this even happen? How do you get baseball's biggest star wrapped up where his interpreter is ripping him off for $17 million, placing all these bets? And you're telling me that Shohei didn't figure it out until the day the story broke? When did he learn? How did he learn?
Mm-hmm.
All these things become very fascinating, of course, across the time. But it's I just don't know how you wouldn't know that somebody was taking $4.5 million from you. How do they even have access to your account like that?
Yeah, that's the thing. And I look, I would love to know any other celebrities or high-profile athletes, how many people have access to their bank account? I think it's not just the one. I don't know if that's completely uncommon. Some business partners might have access to it, but this was his interpreter and friend.
Yeah.
I mean,
yep.
Why are you giving
we're
that person?
Friends. You don't have access to my bank account.
I'm just wondering if it's at a different level when you're at that level. If you have other people dealing with your finances, if there are other people with access to it. I don't know.
I imagine at a certain level of wealth, other people have access to your money besides you. It's not being the first person to have money stolen from them,
right?
Who had a lot of money available.
Just win the Mega Millions tonight, and you can fill me in on how that goes. Well, it'd be higher than by the time to 800 million right now. It'll be a little bit higher.
Normal deal applies if I go buy a ticket today?
Yeah, you have to actually buy the ticket, though.
You give me what's our deal? A clean million?
The deal is if any of us on the show win a Powerball or Mega Millions like this, you have to give the other person $1 million.
Tax-free, though. I need 1.3 or 4.
But the deal is also contingent that you have proof that you also bought a ticket that
more
night.
than fair.
Yeah.
This is all, this can be played in court if you try to hold out. Also, if you win $800 million and you're stinging on the 1.3 to me, that's rude. That's ice cold.
Yeah. Someone says Cody's well-versed in this matter, the Shohei Ohtani stuff, given what he's doing in his basement while trying to lure me in. That's true. Yeah.
In fairness, I don't...
Cody's tried to lure me into these underground poker games for years. I've consistently said, no, you can attest I've never been to one of your underground poker games. I stay away from illegal operations. No JT, on the other hand, walks in there, shoes on, not comfortable at all, and he plays poker with you.
What's the tax law on all... I'm not liable for anything I did when I was working as a teenager, right?
I think you're good.
Because I was paid cash under the table aged 15 through 20.
I think it's more of a problem for the people that were paying you. But it's been too long.
I didn't pay a single tax that entire time. That was just...
I don't know why you would say that on the air, but I think you're good.
Cash.
I don't know why you would say that on the air, but
17.
I think you're good, though.
Nobody told me to pay. Yeah. The guys paid me.
Obviously, there's people that get paid under the table every day. Every day.
It's it'll be fine. It is, it continues to be a fascinating story. It really does. I did continue to see an update over on the NFL side. Adam Schefter, speaking on a podcast today, said that if Aaron Donald's going to return, both sides would have to address his current contract because it doesn't work out that way. Is this really going to happen?
I think in November.
They They have said, now the story is Aaron Donald has an intense go-through protocol he wants to do before trying to decide to return. That probably is like, I'm going to test myself physically in this way, and then I'm going to add this thing, and then I got to see, and I got to feel how I feel after that. It seems to me that he has like a 70-step plan that would need to be all checked off in order for him to feel like he should or can return to football. But the fact that he even has that makes me think he wants to come back. He thinks he can cheat a ring out of it. And by the way, no one will give him a hard time like they do LeBron for going to the 76ers. All Aaron Donald would be doing in this case, to be clear, right, Gold, is ring chasing. He retired. He wasn't playing football for a number of years. He'd be ring chasing. Now, he wouldn't be going to a different team, but he would still just be ring chasing.
We view it differently when, he doesn't, he plays defensive line, not quarterback, and it's the NBA versus the NFL. But I think Aaron Donald, I think there's a real chance he plays for them, but I don't think it's week 1. I don't think it's in September. I think if he joined them, it would be November, October, cut the season in half. A guy at his age, keep him fresh for the stretch run in the postseason. It's all Super Bowl or bust for him if he returns, and certainly for the team.
It's just interesting to me that he would even consider it because he seemed like the kind of guy who was content, I guess. Content with the idea that he didn't feel like he needed to continue to make those moves. So I'm surprised in a lot of ways that he wants to.
Quick update on the conversation from Random Question of the Day and the first part of this hour.
There's an update on that?
There's an update on JT informing the entire Kansas City metro area that he wears shoes while having sex, which is unbelievable. He responded to a texter. You can fill us in. Your wife, or your fiance, I'm sorry. Your fiance
future
has
wife,
texted you.
Yeah.
And how did that go for you, knowing that now you've told everybody?
Oh, she was like, it was gonna come out eventually, I bet you, because everyone
couldn't keep that hideous secret forever.
So wait, did friends? Was she listening, or did some?
No. So she's doing. Well, she's setting up her classroom because she's a teacher.
Okay.
So she's
okay.
And she was getting texts from her friends saying, "Hey, I think your fiance is exposing himself with a foot problem."
Yeah, this is not. She's not exposing herself in any way. This is a huge problem.
And she was like, well, he does not like feet, so it makes sense.
But she's not mad you brought it up on the air.
No.
Okay.
Well, I don't know.
Relationship remains strong.
Yeah. She doesn't know the extent of how much we brought up, but we'll find out.
Again, I already said what the most important thing, which is she loves you.
Exactly.
That I'm very confident about.
Listen, I don't have to worry about a dog licking my feet, man. I got a dog, and that dog will
When's the
lick.
wedding? I want you to get to the. I want you to get to the finish.
Real quick. I have
fear?
I was gonna say I have a dog. My I don't just sit there. My dog just doesn't start.
My dog doesn't lick my feet. Yeah.
I'm not just chilling on the couch and constantly the dog's licking my feet.
I haven't had a dog
about?
my whole life, but I've seen dogs lick people's feet, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not about that life.
Okay. All right.
I mean, but you don't have to be about that life, and you can still have
people
your shoes off
people
while
that
having
have their
sex.
shoes off while having sex aren't having their dogs lick their feet while they're having
Matter of fact, it
sex.
just never happened to me. It's not
I would hope not. Jesus.
That just hasn't been an issue.
No.
You know?
No. I'm not worried about my dog licking my feet while I'm having sex. No. But I don't want to hurt my feet while having sex.
Who's going to hurt your feet?
How are you hurting?
What kind of sex are you having?
How are you going to hurt your feet, man?
You're doing curls? The whole time you were going to drop some weights? You were in the steel
Hurt
mill?
your foot.
What? That came out bad. I mean, but it helps. Well, one, the text line has figured it out, but two,
It helps with what?
The grip. You don't lose your
Grip? I'm not having a grip issue.
Well, think about this.
Slip sliding around?
All right, since we're on this conversation, I'll tell you. Sometimes I'm not on the bed. I'm on the edge of the bed.
Well, fine, but
Yeah.
you know. But still.
Oh my goodness.
Grip issue.
Hey, it's JT, not
Someone
TJ's.
Someone says, God bless her, though.
Grip problem. Okay.
We already established the text. I said, wait, I still don't understand. How does he not have to take his shoes off to get his pants off? He says that he wears loose fitting at the bottom pants.
Or shorts,
or shorts, and typically that is not an issue.
So we have our full-time producer, Drew, that mows yards barefoot. We've got JT, who had our film producer.
Barefoot
who has,
mowing?
Yeah, and we have JT, who won't take his shoes off while having sex. I mean, we got complete extremes.
That's
here.
dangerous.
I know a lot of people in which that would just be an instant this isn't gonna I genuinely think Alex could really be enjoying the company of somebody and all this and and thinks, I really like this girl. And I think that the first time they went to have sex, she was like, I only have sex with my tennis shoes on. I'd be like, I don't think this is going to work out.
How hot is she?
Yeah. I mean, you have to really like her. I don't know, man. I think, would you be able to look past that genuinely?
In that exact moment, yes.
Oh, but the first time I think you'd give in. But I think the next one
long term,
like,
you're saying?
Yes.
I would think, what else is weird about the person? Sorry, JT.
I'd say what other kind of, is that your only serious quirk?
Yeah.
Do you have any other
I don't think so.
I guess the other question, and the text line's right.
Quirks?
You said it. You don't slip around, and you have the shoes give you some grip. Have you tried without the shoes? Did you fall on your ass? What happened?
Have a terrible moment?
Did you?
I'll tell you what.
Childhood trauma took place in JT's life that has cursed him from feet forever. I don't know what it is. Someone put a big toe in his mouth one time when he was like.
Well, I'll say this. My dad has the ugliest feet I've ever known, and I'm so scared of feet because of my dad. I will say that. But
something's going on.
And so at college, at UCM, their carpet was hard, and so the shoes worked real well with the sturdiness. At home, if you take off your shoes, I've tried, I slipped, and I was like, yeah, I got to put them back on. And so we've put them back on, and so it has just worked.
That doesn't make any sense to me. So to be clear, let's say you were, just one follow-up question, maybe several more. If in a circumstance you were wearing pants in which they did not easily slide off your shoes, would you take your shoes off, take your pants off, and put your shoes back on?
Bare ass naked, but his shoes on? Is that what you're saying?
Hey, man, listen.
I'm trying to figure out what the hell's going on.
I'll be honest with you. I'm going to expose myself at this point because it's there. But I mean, sometimes after a good sex session, I just walk around with my shoes and socks on, bare ass naked.
What?
Oh my God!
That's crazy. This is crazy behavior. Crazy.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't plan on this derailing the show, but I mean, there's just no. I'm too distracted by it now.
Yes, text line. Vans are very good. They have the waffle grip.
Excuse me?
JT already, by the way, if you haven't listened to it for a while, JT also said that he has shoes that are only for the inside. He clearly has socks that are clearly only for sexual situations. But he seems to have shoes that are meant for only certain indoor activities, and then only outside shoes go outside. Yeah. So, I was worried about the cleanliness of the house for a while, but at least that seems to be.
Shoes on while naked just would feel
wrong?
Very weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
It's crazy.
Up next.
It's crazy.
Hey, I'm the man by someone.
Hey, I appreciate the content today, JT. Thank you for sharing. Up next, we'll get to
what's on Loveline back in the day.
What's trending and some tension rising at the Royal Stadium community meeting.
You're listening to Cody and Gold. Tune in for the Chiefs Red Half Hour every day, starting at 11:30 right here on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Brought to you by Blue KC is the Coaches with Character program. Do you know a rock star high school coach in your district? Nominate them for the Blue KC Coaches with Character program at bluekc.com/nominate coaches with character. Let's make our coaches feel special and make our community a better place to live, work, and play.
America is turning 250 this year, and Circus Sports is celebrating by offering all users in Missouri $250. Dane Hughes here, and for everyone in Missouri, all you have to do is deposit $250 on your Circus Sports app. Then play through that deposit. Once you do, Circus Sports will reward you with $250 right in your account. This is available for everyone in Missouri, new and existing users. Celebrate 250 years and find out more at circusports.com today. Must be 21 or older in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
At Kansas City Proton Institute, we're delivering the future of cancer care with state-of-the-art proton therapy right here in KC. If you have breast, head and neck, or brain cancer, proton therapy may be a better treatment than conventional radiation. Don't wait. Get your second opinion at Kansas City Proton Institute. Come see Kansas City's largest, most experienced, and most advanced proton therapy team. Learn more at kcpi.com. Kansas City Proton Institute, where you see the best in KC.
This summer, Casey's has 89-cent medium fountain and new Frostbite by Casey's drinks. But if you don't have 89 cents, you could check your center console, dig between your couch cushions, ask Grandma for $1, or just use your credit card. 89-cent medium Frostbite by Casey's or fountain drinks at Casey's. All summer long. Restrictions may apply. See store for details.
When it comes to our cars, those infotainment screens, turbos, advanced transmissions, and cameras are all great until they fail. And if your car is out of warranty, repairing them can cost thousands. I'm Danica Patrick. If your car is less than 20 years old, no matter the mileage, make sure you're covered for auto repair bills with an auto protection plan from Endurance. They've paid out hundreds of millions in claims and helped drivers with plans that cover engine, drivetrain, electrical system, transmission, and more. Endurance gives you straightforward claims processing and direct payment to your certified mechanic. And your rate won't go up no matter how many claims you file. When your check engine light comes on, don't ignore it because you're worried about a big auto repair bill. Call Endurance and choose the plan that's right for you. Act now and get 1 year of elite benefits, a $2,000 value, free.
For your fast free quote, call 800-689-1536. 800-689-1536. 800-689-1536.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at EnduranceWarranty.com.
Hi, I'm Carter. And I'm Charlie. We'd like to share a quick story about a homeowner named Jack.
Jack had a home he needed to sell fast.
And Jack thought he had it all figured out.
So Jack talked to multiple cash buyers.
Jack chose the highest offer.
But the day before closing, guess what? The buyer backed out.
Leaving Jack with the moving truck all packed in the driveway and not sure what to do.
Jack learned the hard way that the highest offer isn't always the right offer.
Jack got suckered.
Make sure you aren't hung out to dry.
Call our dad at Rex Buys KC.
Our dad is local, he knows Kansas City, and he actually closes deals.
No repairs, no fees, no showings, no surprises.
Just a fair cash offer and a smooth process.
Now, don't be like Jack.
Call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com.
Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like public works supervisor.
Hey, this water main is under a ton of pressure. Did you ever fix it?
Yeah, 3 layers of duct tape. Wait, should I have added a 4th layer?
This is a job for sponsored jobs. This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight illnesses like pneumococcal pneumonia and RSV. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and can help protect you from getting really sick. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. See more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
Royals coverage is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
What's trending?
Cheddar, mozzarella, Havarti.
Number one on what's trending, the Chiefs do not have practice today. It's a conditioning test day, and then they're back at it tomorrow. In fact, tomorrow, first real day of camp. Full squad, everybody there, vets included. We will be up there broadcasting at Mo West tomorrow from 10 to 2. We're expected to have a member of the Chiefs join us on site for an exclusive interview after practice. Looking forward to being up there. JT will be producing still, I think. For us, we will be wearing our shoes in St. Joe.
I guess I shouldn't wear flip-flops to work this week. Huh?
No, actually, we should. The whole building should wear flip-flops tomorrow, just to irritate JT. I don't know.
Maybe Friday or no Thursday. When are we in studio next? Thursday.
Also, unfortunate news. Someone that could have been battling for depth spot on the defensive line. According to Matt Derrick, Ethan Downs has torn his ACL.
Next up on What's Trending, multiple things out of the NFL today. Baker Mayfield said to play under the final year of his contract as the contract talks have been broken off with the Buccaneers for now. There's a possibility he can play under the franchise tag next year, which is estimated at $50 million. Jalen Carter became the richest defensive tackle in NFL history. A 4-year, $152 million extension. Could be worth up to $160 if all things went right. And 3-time Pro Bowler Jamal Adams has joined the Minnesota Vikings. So just a busy day in the NFL. There's also an offensive tackle for the Vikings who signed a long-term extension as well.
On the baseball front, the Royals are in the Twin Cities tonight taking on Minnesota. Seth Lugo is on the bump. 6:40 first pitch here on 96.5. The Fan Vern's on Deck show is at 5:30. The Royals sit at 45 and 62. We are 6 days away from the trade deadline. We'll see if anything happens the next couple days, or we wait until the day of. Monday, I think, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon?
Yep. Yeah, it's less than a week away, as you mentioned, but no trades yet for the Royals. They've traded for, Dobnak and some other, cash deals, but nothing major. Next up on What's Trending, SI reporting more on the Kyle Shanahan car accident. His friend Chris Sims said that he almost lost an eye. There was a report that he was using his phone during the accident, but he was not the person charged with initiating the accident, at least on that end. He wasn't ticketed on either end, but just something to keep an eye out on as he continues to be limited, I guess, for the 49ers.
College basketball, just small note from John Calipari over at Arkansas. They will play Kansas at Allen Fieldhouse in a preseason exhibition game. The reason why we're maybe going to start seeing some bigger teams play each other in exhibition is because the NCAA changed the rule. You can now schedule 3. So, KU, they can play there just like K-State or Missouri. You can play your Emporia States or, your Washburns of the world, et cetera. But now you might see some teams schedule one bigger exhibition game because you can do 3 of them.
Next up on What's Trending, Draymond Green and the Warriors have agreed to a new contract. 1 year, $27.7 million for him to return to Golden State. Not surprising. They were in the LeBron James sweepstakes, did not land him. Obviously trying to shore up the rest of the roster. He opted out, where they had him opt out of his contract there during that time as they were trying to get that stuff sorted out. We also forgot to mention that Justin Herbert got engaged.
He did.
Today. We can put that in What's Trending, too, to Madison Beer.
That is What's Trending. Also, wait, there's some athletes signed a new shoe deal today. Let me see. JT, what do you think of that? New shoe deal.
Wow, funny.
What's your favorite kind of footwear?
I like Nikes.
Okay,
Nikes are good.
Nike tennis shoes?
Good grip, is that what you're saying? Good grip.
Do you ever wear shoes with no socks?
No,
Or is that an instant no? Okay.
no.
Just curious.
That's gross.
And I also, crazy enough, my fiance thinks this is also kind of weird. I have to wear...
Oh, gosh. You keep making it worse, but keep going.
I have to wear the sock with the shoe. So if it's an Adidas sock, it's with an Adidas shoe. Nike sock with a Nike shoe.
I mean, I get it.
I don't care about that. I mostly wear Bombas, which
Same. That's
don't
what I'm
have shoes
wearing
at
right
all.
now.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Good
Very
sock.
comfortable sock.
May I recommend a Bomba to you, JT?
Sure. I don't know what that
Somebody
is.
who has clearly never taken his shoes or socks off ever in any circumstance.
Now, hold on real quick. She has her socks and shoes off, right?
Depends on the
my God.
position.
You both keep your shoes
it's for me.
on?
It's for me.
No, I know, but you both keep your shoes on while having sex.
No. She won't have her shoes on. But if her feet are close to my vicinity, I have to have her socks on. But if if she's in the talkie or
okay, all right, we don't need to describe.
We can get
not
allowed to describe sexual acts.
Yeah, do not go there. That's
easy.
a violation. We cannot describe the exact act, please.
But if you're
JT.
just saying,
if her,
you would prefer she has socks on if you body's going to be near her feet.
But I allow her to have her socks off.
Okay.
That sounds weird.
All
but
right,
yeah, she can have her socks off.
Bombas are the best socks, in my opinion. That's an unpaid advertisement. I don't know.
Oh, man. What a day.
Over on YouTube, it just said, dude threw away the shovel and got an excavator to dig this hole. Good God, is what they said. If you missed any part of the show, please go back to the random question, which has derailed the final hour and a half of this show, which I wasn't planning on, by the way. That's just sometimes the side quest the random question can take. You know? Sometimes things just happen.
Well, I'm worried because I think Nathan was listening, and he's in for Mac, as you guys know. And he's texting me, and he goes, "You're giving us some good content ideas." I'm like, "Oh God!"
I imagine it will be discussed on other shows today. I can't speak for the programming for the other two shows, but this is all because this is Dan Orlovsky's fault more than anything. All because he said he was too much of a man to get a pedicure.
Yeah, that's how we got. That's how we got here.
Started.
That's how we got here.
All because of that. I think JT legitimately, and the text line might be right. I think he might have a legitimate diagnosable phobia of feet. Like legitimate. And so like we shouldn't be making fun of his.
Or he really likes socks. One of the two. Or he's got a sock fetish.
But it doesn't sound like that. It doesn't sound like the leaving the shoes on is what drives the interest. It's more about protection.
Exactly.
A different way.
Protection. Yeah.
Different kind. Yeah. You know? That's all I'm pointing out is that it feels like this. I do think you should be a sneakerhead with this stance. You should like a good pair of shoes.
It sounds like he has quite a few.
Yeah. I think that's important.
Some he prefers more than others. Some that are his favorites for certain activities, as you said.
Just get those Sky Zone socks.
With the grip.
Yeah. That's like the institution socks. Put you on so you have the grippy socks, but your feet stay warm. JT's feet stay warm. That we know. That is
never a cold foot on my body.
You got to get you some nice house shoes or something, you know? Like the old man house slippers. You know, the ones like a little bit of leather on them and the fuzzy inside.
My grandpa got me those when I was 12, so we good.
Has this been a lifetime thing?
Oh, yeah.
He's out here in house shoes at 12? All right. Insane. Let's talk a little bit about, I don't know if we can. Can we settle back into a regular show for the rest of today? We can try. I can't promise anything, but we can try.
The text line's killing me.
You want to talk a little bit about the Royals Stadium, which we know is going down to Crown Center?
Yeah, let's go.
And they had a stadium community meeting.
Let's go to a fun, light topic to something that ticks people off. Great idea. Let's do that.
It's a sidestep, you know?
Uh-huh. There was a community meeting last night at Union Station with some Royals representatives. Community members were there. They were talking about the rezoning for a downtown ballpark. And Channel 9 had some audio of what occurred last night. Just let's listen to how it sounded.
We're gonna take a short break. Yeah, we're gonna take a short break, and then we're gonna deal with what we need to deal with. So either you guys will let the people speak, or we're gonna shut it down for a minute. Your choice.
It is so quickly turns into
How about that? How about we take 5 minutes and we'll let you guys deal with it. Thank you.
So you can hear him yelling a little bit after that. But I mean, look, it turned pretty quickly into parent scolding child there in the moment. But it is difficult because if you listen to stuff like this, you can still tell, and there will be, I think the entire time we wait up these stadiums, there will be people who are actively mad at the Chiefs and the Royals this entire run. All 5 years while these facilities are being built, as we watch the end of Kauffman Stadium, I had to minimize the screen on the text line. I can't keep looking at it.
I know, I do, and it's a problem. That's why I was not laughing at the audio. I was not laughing at the people. I was laughing at a text that was sent while we were listening.
But so, if you look, they're going to be people that are mad at it this entire time. But if you want your voice heard, and they're threatening to end the meeting, I would argue, are you not going to get more out of it by doing what inside the system that they're letting you make your voice heard? But if it's just, I don't want it here, no good. Your best bet now, honestly, if you have an issue with where the stadium's going to go, is making sure that, the things that are important to you, if you want affordable housing down there, if you want, to fight for the things that could still be a part of the project, not stopping the project from happening altogether, I guess, because I just don't think that's ever going to happen at this point.
Not do I. I think there's also some individuals that were there that still wanted to just stay at Kauffman Stadium. There is no alternative where they just renovate Kauffman. That is never happening. I think I thought
they made that pretty clear for a long time.
I thought we all knew that. But, you asked earlier, why is the reaction this way different than what the Chiefs are getting? And one, as you said, they're building a downtown stadium. They got to rezone it. There's already certain things there. It's not to the extent of the other project that they tried to pass where a lot of businesses were going to be displaced. The Chiefs are going to the Legends area. The land's empty. It's just land right now. There's nothing there. Yeah. They're not really rezoning anything. Now, they have their own questions that people are going to bring up about the star bonds as more and more details continue to come out about that and the finances and what's realistic, and do they have to expand the star bond zones even more, all that kind of, or districts even more. But
it already kind of feels that way for both, and that's unfortunate, but, some of that is just like...
Someone wants to know, do you think basically the Royals already have 1 foot out the door at Kauffman? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was
Right, JT? Yeah, I think so.
Just stop it.
Normally on this show, it just takes a different turn than that,
Mm-hmm.
But I do wonder with what the next steps are, or if there's something that can derail either of these. The stadium plans are out. Where they're going to go is being built. Now, how those plans change over time, or like you said, the star bond, that's where I think you can make people mad. But the truth is, I think we knew from the beginning. The second I saw the price tag, let's say in the Chiefs one, the second I saw the price tag on the Chiefs one, I'm like, well, it ain't going to just be the Legends. It's going to be the whole damn county by the time they're done. They got to pony up $2 billion, $3 billion. They promised them the single largest public financing for a stadium in NFL history. That's not going to come with just, we'll do it out near the stadium. Not unless it's going to be paid out over 200 years, and we know that's not the case for these star bonds, so you got to figure out a way to get the tax incentive. I just think part of this goes back to this idea that we are in a town where the stadiums are loved. That's not always the case. Sometimes people
think their stadiums are a
you
dump.
You go to Nashville and they're like,
yeah.
our stadium's a dump. We don't want this stupid, crappy stadium anymore. Even if they don't want the public paying for it. They don't like their bad stadium. Arrowhead is as close as you can get without being one of the 4 or 3 or 2 or whatever it is in the NFL to a historic NFL stadium. There aren't many. It is very few. It is pretty much just like Lambeau. End of list, I guess, at this point. Some of the more well-known stadiums are the ones that are built now. Like Jerry World is a more well-known stadium than just about any of the other historic ones. And Kauffman, I think, is just loved. And I think part of it is for the same reason. So we didn't talk about this enough. I think a huge chunk of some of people's like for the stadium is the same reason they like the airport. As in, it doesn't play like another stadium. You just go out to the middle of the field where nothing else is, and it doesn't inconvenience your day at all to get to a game. And I think that's why
that's what people are used to.
Some of people's appeal to it.
People are used to it, right? Yeah. There's always going to be a chunk of people that are going to push back against some change and stuff that they're used to for maybe their entire life. For a lot of people in Kansas City, of course, grew up here. This is not like Houston where it's a transient city or whatever. This is Kansas City. Most people that live here, grew up here, were born here in the metro area.
Yeah,
and so that's all. For you and I. Our whole life, all we've ever done is go to Kauffman. All we've ever done is go to Arrowhead. And
it will be weird.
All we ever did up until 5 years ago or 3 years ago, whenever the new airport opened up, was go to the old airport. That's all we knew. And some people, change is tough for some people. And it doesn't mean everything is going to be, it doesn't mean everything's going to be seamless and smooth at a new ballpark or a new Arrowhead or whatever we're going to call it out there. That's not always going to be the case. I also don't think it's the doom and gloom world is ending either. There's a middle ground there, and I don't know about you. I mean, airport-wise, to me, that's the ultimate proof of, hey, it turns out this thing can work. It takes you an extra 5 minutes, maybe.
I don't know if it's that much. I mean, it's really not much more than I love
the new airport.
I love it too. I like it a lot better than the old one. And I spent an impossible amount of time in the old one back in my Courier days.
Yeah.
So much time in that old airport. It stunk for a variety of reasons.
You mean you didn't like having to go through security again just to go to the bathroom?
No.
You didn't like that?
Or to hit up a Sbarro of the 2 restaurants that might have been open in there ever, other than maybe hitting up the 1 or 2 shops. All right, JT, I think we got to finish with a couple of questions from the text line.
Well, some of those we can't ask.
No.
People want to know, do you does this apply to foods as well?
Do you just like fruit by the foot, they said, for instance?
Oh, no. I'll eat a fruit by the foot.
Okay.
They just wanted to know. They wanted to know where, the line is.
Do you know if any other relatives have this same?
Doesn't sound like it.
No, I don't think so. Both my parents take off their shoes pretty fast, and it's kind of.
I think he just has a phobia.
Also, luckily for me, I didn't know they changed the rules, but I was afraid of airports for the longest time because you had to take off your shoes for the security thing, and so. I learned that they finally told you don't have to take off your shoes.
Yeah, most airports. Now,
some do.
The only part of this that I will be on the same page with you is on a plane, people that take their shoes off, it's disgusting.
Oh my God, if they do that. Oh.
On a plane, I'm 100% with you, JT. But in my own apartment, my own house, doing what we were just discussing, the shoes have to come off, my man. The shoes have to come off.
The shoes have to come off for you? You're a shoe off guy?
Yep.
Okay.
Not on a plane, but yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but there are people, like, here's the thing. But JT, have you been on a plane a lot? Because someone could just be barefoot.
What would you do?
Barefoot on a plane.
And I don't like that either, but what would you do?
Oh, I would be throwing a fit. I'd be a Karen. I would lose my mind.
I'm moving seats. I will not sit next
I need a
to
voucher. This dude's got his dogs out. Put him away.
Oh, man. It's just... like, I just...
Someone wants to know, so, like, how do you, like, someone wants to know how you clip your toenails then.
It doesn't say he wouldn't touch his own feet. It's probably different with your own feet. You're not disgusted by your own feet, are you?
No, I don't get disgusted by it because I have to clip them, but like I don't like to.
Man, it's a phobia. It's a straight phobia.
It's a weird thing, man. If I have to clip my toes, what I'll do is I'll do it right before I get in the shower because I know my socks are gonna have to come off, and then I'll just brush them up and clean them up. And so it's weird, man. I'm not a foot guy. I'm not a toes guy. I like to keep my things enclosed.
Keep shoes on. Oh, man. You know? Someone says flip-flops on a plane. I'm not saying it's a good idea. I'm just saying Alex and I have both. Alex, not that long ago, was on a plane and somebody had bare feet right next to him, like with her seat folded up next to him.
On the seat.
Not even that long ago. So, like, it is always a risk.
Someone from the 913 says, JT, we probably shouldn't tell you. Sometimes the lights go out at the movie theater. Some people take their shoes off. What do you
People
make
are
of
taking
that?
their shoes off in a movie
Shouldn't
theater?
do that. Shouldn't do that.
I'll tell you what.
Gross.
I think I was on with you guys the last time, but I haven't been to a movie theater since COVID.
Since COVID?
Yeah,
you did. That's crazy to me. How?
I just now watch the movies once ever they come out on the streaming platform. Then I don't have to pay for the overpriced ticket.
Fair enough. I mean, I get the
I do want to
price
see the new Spider-Man movie. It comes out this weekend.
That does look good. I want to. Have you guys seen Odyssey?
Odyssey?
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's three. Oh, Cody will hate this. I agree. I don't know what scene they would have cut out, but it's 2 hours and like 55 minutes. It's long. Now the cinematography and the fact that it's IMAX.
You can see it in
throughout.
IMAX?
Yes, I think that's the only way you can go see it. Yeah, that's the only way for this particular. So it was good. It's long though, Cody. I know you don't like movies over 2 hours or whatever. So this is almost 3. But
it's not that I won't ever watch a movie that length, but man, it changes for this.
So this is how is it somebody doesn't like his own feet? Oh, if you missed the earlier conversation, these are the ancillary questions.
These are the follow-ups to go back to the random question. I can't possibly play
this all started with JT saying that he has sex with his shoes on and only with the shoes on. That's how this all started, okay?
And the truth is that this is a show that is genuinely, I would say for the entire time we've been on this show, has prided itself on not judging people for their sexual desires, kinks, preferences that they partake of in their own home.
Right.
We mostly, live your life. Live your life. However, this one has thrown me. This one has thrown me so far for a loop. It's hard. It tears at the very fabric that this show has created.
There was one time we were up at the lake because my soon-to-be in-laws have a lake house up in Wisconsin, and they're like, hey, we got this boat.
Was it like Okoboji or what?
That's a great question. Lake Ripley is what it's called in Wisconsin.
Okay. All right.
Anyway, it was my first time up there. They're like, hey, we got a tube with our boat. I said, sweet. They're like, do you want to go on the tube? I go, yeah. And I pull out my swim shoes to put them on, and they look at me like I'm
swim shoes.
I just thought, by the way, this conversation started with that. I was like, JT, you can't be wearing swim shoes at 25 years old. You're too old.
And it turned into...
And then we went there.
And the craziest part is my swim shoe got knocked off, and I was freaking out in the lake. I was trying to find it. And so they swam back around, and they're like, oh, it's over there. And so I swam over, got it, and I wouldn't get on the ladder to climb back in the boat until I got my swim shoe back on because I was not putting my feet on that ladder.
Man, it's crazy. It's a phobia. I think we've definitely...
We've diagnosed a phobia on this show.
Yeah, we have. There's no doubt about that. But somebody, text line, I don't think you were understanding the depths in which he goes there.
Someone asked me about light-up shoes. Dude, I used to love light-up shoes when I was little, but I'm not a big Velcro guy anymore.
Someone says that could be mood-enhancing over on Twitch, though, Really add to the atmosphere.
Lights off, the shoes lighting up.
I got my Buzz Lightyears on. Let's go.
Some people light a candle. Some
Lights up
people
the shoes.
who leave their shoes on during sex light up the room.
Oh, man.
You know? Could go a lot of different ways. Thanks for that.
There you go.
I have not seen The Odyssey yet. I'm sure I'll see it here at some point. But it might. I want to go see it in the theater because it feels like a movie I'm supposed to see in the theater. But carving out the three. But here's the thing. Movies like this are great because I know it'll be in the theater forever.
Well, also, you're not worried about it being a spoiler. The story is the story.
I've read The Odyssey.
The story is the story. You're not worried about it being spoiled. I want to go see the new Spider-Man movie fairly quick, so I don't have any spoilers or whatever. Okay. JT's back with us tomorrow. We're going to be up in St. Joe for Chiefs training camp. We'll try not to bring. I mean, it's now going to become a running joke for the rest of the time.
When's the wedding?
It's in March.
March, okay. Shoes on.
I know, just the gift to get you.
Listen, we're doing it.
I know, just the gift,
doing it on a
JT.
cruise ship. And
JT,
so
I'm gonna get you a wedding gift. Not new shoes, just a bunch of socks.
Cruise ship? You're getting married on a cruise ship? That's nothing but bare feet.
I know. I got my swim shoes. I got 3 of them.
Not for you, for everyone. Personally
Wait, really?
torturing yourself. JT, it's a ship. People are going to be in flip-flops all over the place.
I thought it was tinted. Oh, God, okay.
I don't know how to break that. That's bad news.
Hope you guys have a good rest of your day. We'll talk to you from St. Joe tomorrow.
You're listening to Cody and Gold. Tune in to hear